4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Today, both Ben Simmons and James Harden spoke for the first time since last week's blockbuster trade, where Simmons went to Brooklyn and Harden to Philadelphia. Simmons explained his trade request was over a culmination of things that happened in Philadelphia. It wasn't about money or basketball or coaches. Said he's in a good place now physically and is getting there mentally. He's not sure when his Nets debut will be, but Simmons is excited about the possibilities in Brooklyn.
I think it's going to be scary. Having those guys running alongside me. There's, multiple different weapons on the floor. And I think at the pace we want to play at, it's going to be unreal.
Nets point guard Ben Simmons at Harden's introductory press conference. He wouldn't give details into what happened with the Nets, but said Philadelphia was his first choice last season when he asked for a trade from Houston. Brooklyn and Philadelphia next meet on March 10th, and Simmons is hoping to play in that game. Quarterbacks Aaron Rodgers of the Packers and Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs are the betting co-favorites to win the 2022 NFL MVP, given plus 700 odds by Caesar Sportsbook.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, what's happening? Welcome into UNF Arena here on the campus of University of North Florida. Nice and quiet inside the arena right now. Place should be rocking in a little bit. The Ospreys have won 3 out of 4. One of those losses here last week that was really close, almost came back from 21 down, but then they got a nice win on the road at Kennesaw State on Saturday, and they welcome front runner and East Division leading Liberty to town tonight. It's always a tough one. Best team in the league has been really the last few years, and Darius McGee, one of the top players in the league and maybe the nation really, is in town tonight at UNF Arena. So you want to see some good basketball tonight. UNF Arena, the place to be, 7 o'clock tip for the homestanding Ospreys as we get closer and closer to March and the ASUN tournament. And that's when it all matters here in ASUN play. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz back in the Action Sports Jack studios. Good to be on the road once again here as we're hitting the road quite a bit. Looks like we'll be in Daytona on Thursday, and, then who knows after that. But Combine on the horizon. The Jags should name their coaching staff by the end of the week is what I'm hearing. So we've got some fun stuff coming up as the offseason really gets underway now, and the reshaping and retooling of this Jaguars roster becomes like really front and center conversation coming off the football season, the coaching hires and everything else. How are they going to fix this thing going forward? And we've got a lot of ideas. I think everybody's got a lot of ideas. That will be the thing to keep an eye on. What's happening, man, on a big AEW news today?
Big AEW news. Yeah, I mean, I think, on the Jaguars home front, in terms of them announcing, that their entire staff is pretty soon, which is great to kind of allow them to get ready to prepare for evaluating the talent, getting ready for the draft and the combine and all of that nature. Are you surprised that the EVP hasn't been announced yet?
Yeah, and I saw some rumblings on the social media world, the Jags Twitter world today about that. And I guess, I'm a little bit surprised that it isn't done. Obviously, they're taking their time. I mean, how long do they have to vet that stuff out? Do they want Doug Peterson to do his staff and then him be a part of that process as well? Do they feel the need to do it before the draft? There's some rumblings that maybe they could wait until after. There's some logic involved with that as this staff has kind of put all the work in on the draft. So I don't know where they're going with it, quite honestly. I'd be lying if I said where they're at. All we really have is what Shad Khan told us at that news conference where everybody thought, all right, executive vice president, then an underbelly below Trent Balkey, so you're kind of bridging him a little bit. I don't know a lot of people assume that would take some of the power away from Balkey. I'm not sure that's what that meant. I don't know what that meant until we kind of figure out what they do hire. And by the way, they put in a request for it. Shad Khan never said they were hiring. They just put in requests, which made it seem like they were hiring, right? They were
I mean,
at least looking.
Well, let's be honest. There was rumors of Spielman coming to Jacksonville out of Minnesota.
Yeah,
so,
that was even a week prior.
Yeah, that was kind of, I think, at least what I expected to happen. It hasn't come to fruition yet for whatever the reason. So, I mean, I guess, the way I envisioned it talking about this draft was whoever the EVP was going to be, whether it was going to be Spielman or somebody else, they would have input in terms of how this draft would check up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Though the more time that it takes, and who knows if they wait till after the draft to hire the EVP. I mean, it leads me to believe now that this is going to be Trent Balkey's draft, and this is going to be Trent Balkey's thumbprint all over of how this is going to shake out.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, oh really? That Trent Balkey's going to be like the lone soldier here, or is there power with Peterson? That we really don't know, too. There was not a lot of conversation about that. I think everybody said, hey, it's going to be a group thing, and everybody says that. Mm-hmm. But there's no, set power structure announced to the media or at that news conference like, hey, Doug Peterson's going to be making the decisions. There was nothing like that. I still think it was really interesting, going back to that news conference, that there wasn't this picture taking process where everybody stood up there and that was the three-headed monster going forward of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think that left room for interpretation and still does, because they haven't really made any moves that we're aware of other than hiring the staff. So it's a good guess. It's a good question. I do think Doug Peterson will have a heavy hand in how to build this thing. He knows what a Super Bowl winner looks like. So I'm not saying he's going to be picking all of it, but I think he'll definitely have some say. This isn't going to be like Doug Marrone just leaving it up to Tom Coughlin and Dave Caldwell, in my estimation.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, generally in every single team, it's the general manager's job to find players that are going to fit the coach's system and the coach is going to like. And there will be some kind of collaboration there, I believe. But I also believe that, Doug Peterson is kind of the new guy in town. I mean, I think the final say, who's making the calls, who has the final verdict, is going to be Trent Balkey, the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, until further notice.
Yeah, and, here's what clouds that up even more, Austin, is we don't really know what he did last year. Mm-hmm. We don't know how much Urban was the heavy in the building, right? Mm-hmm. And so how much – I'm convinced the first pick was everybody's pick. But then after that, ETN and Tyson Campbell, I'm convinced were Urban Meyer selections. I don't think Balkey would have gone necessarily that way. I'm not saying he hated it. I think he got on board with it. But I'm not saying, well, he didn't want to take this. This guy, 3 years from now will tell us if ETN's no good, he never wanted to take him. But that's what all of them do. But I just think after that, then I get murky. I'm like, okay, Walker Little, big guy. That seems like a Balkey thing. He likes the trenches. I could see that. But they also saw a lot of value injured players, as the joke kind of goes with Balkey, that they took a risk on Little, not really injured as much as hadn't played in a couple of years because he opted out too, and also Cisco, he fits that too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it's really hard to give him credit or place the blame on last year from a draft perspective. I think you can really place the blame in free agency some if you want to do that, or give him credit if you want to do that, because I think he was the guy that was supposed to steer the ship on a Urban Meyer piloted ship that had never really done it before in the NFL. And so any missteps in those kind of things, I think you have to blame Balkey. And that was part of the reason we kind of said, all right, let's reset this thing, because we really don't know how much credit, blame, whatever Balkey should get. Let's just reset it. And let's figure this out, because it hasn't been good when Balkey's been in the building here, nor San Francisco in the last 3 years of that tenure too. So I think it's cloudy still, man, and I think that's a problem. I'm not saying we need to know, but I think it is a bit cloudy, and that could be problematic, because guess what happens when it's cloudy? We just watched it for the last 40 days, is you let everybody else set the narrative and tell you how it's going, and then you have to deflect and deny. Whether it is, or you just stay silent like the Jaguars did. And so I think it's pretty interesting here watching this unfold, how much Peterson's involved, how much Balkey and his staff are really going to own this draft.
Well, and here's kind of where you sit with the whole Trent Balkey thing, because once again, Peterson, I'm sure, is going to have influence on this draft. But if you want to call last year's draft, the first couple guys, Urban Meyer guys, then so be it. We'll see how Travis Etienne turns out. We'll see how Tyson Campbell turns out. Walker Little could be left for interpretation. Was that a Trent Balkey guy? Was that an Urban Meyer guy? I mean, I think nevertheless we can both agree we're not really sure on Walker Little quite yet. I mean, it's a very small sample size, but you're not ready to have a grade yet on Walker Little. On Andre Cisco, we thought he would be playing a lot sooner. For whatever reason, he wasn't when he's been out there. We've seen some good, but I'm not ready to go out there and say he's a starter going forward.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So then Jay Tufali, I mean, we saw him minimally, like not ready to say much on him. Jordan Smith obviously didn't really contribute that much. Luke Farrell, say what you want about him, and then Jalen Camp was let go. So if we're looking about that, and we're talking about that draft class coming off of a 2-win season, not a lot to like from that draft class so far. Now, that might change, but I'm just saying from the first year, you want to give out a grade, there wasn't a lot of productivity there. So now going into this next season, this up-and-coming draft, yeah, I mean, I think if it is going to be the Trent Balkey show, I'm very curious to see if you can capitalize off of last year and you can make a couple better picks that can bring some production because, once again, you're coming off of a season where you won a few games, it was minimally at that, and I'm just really curious to see if Trent Balkey can turn that around.
Yeah, and not only that, Austin, what I would say is, Schott leaves everybody hanging. He's unpredictable, and that has drawn a lot of criticism, of course, given the unpredictability and also the predictability of them being bad. Mm-hmm. So what I would say, though, is why wait until even after the draft to add or beef up your front office? Because aren't you just setting yourself up for another cycle to wait and wait even longer for everything to click? Like, let's get in and fix this thing. Like, you still got 2 months till the draft. I mean, I don't feel like Trent Balkey's been doing anything on the draft for the last month. He was hiring a coach for 40 days, apparently, and in those kind of interviews. So, I mean, let's get people in here and figure it out and beef up the front office and get more advice and steer it in the right direction. Because, again, the resume, to your point, last year, we're not going to put much on C.J. Henderson, Caleb Von Chason. That's going to go on Caldwell. It's probably not going to go much on Balkey, but it's still on his resume as he was a guy in the front office and in that draft room. And then also, if you take the years in San Francisco, you've got evidence of that too, where it was starting to go downhill when he was there in San Francisco. So, again, these are all the reasons, by the way, that just the what it added up to was why is Trent Balkey staying around? Even less that he's awful at his job, and why is he around if we can't even pinpoint what he's doing, and is he doing it great? Like what I always say, what has he earned the right? What has he done to convince you that he's earned the right to be here as the GM and now in charge of this next draft? And while I think his GM title says he's going to be in charge of the draft, I think there is also some comfort in the fan base knowing that, okay, they've put in for EVP. EVP usually is ahead of the GM, which means now you're going to have some further jurisdiction in that building that you're going to have to run it up the flagpole a little bit, and Trent Balkey's not going to get the final say. So at least there was some buffering there. We don't really know if that's going to transpire because here we are in the middle of February, and they haven't hired that spot yet.
Exactly. And at this time right now, with Trent Balkey being the GM, you would think this time, these past couple weeks have been used to do your due diligence in free agency to see who can work out here in Jacksonville, how much is it going to cost. You've been doing your due diligence at the Senior Bowl, which we probably know he wasn't there, so I'm not sure how much you can do. You have to go up your scouts on that one, but you have to do your due diligence about these draft picks coming up for the Combine, who you're looking for, what you're looking to see, and all this stuff. And I just question right now how much of that is actually being completed because you spent a lot of your resources, a lot of your energy, I feel like, on the coaching search. I think he was a big part of that. And the fact that there hasn't been an EVP signed yet, or I don't know if we're on the brink of one or not, shows you that, okay, this is going to be the Trent Balkey show going forward until further notice. And I'm just we'll see.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
I think that's where we're at. I mean, we don't know a lot. I mean, I think we're guessing a little bit in that regard, to be just honest with you. The next time we'll talk to Trent Balkey will be at the Combine. We should be there 2 weeks from today, actually, and that's when the Jaguars will talk. It'll be on March 1st. Our plan is to be there for the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. The next time I think we'll hear from Doug Peterson will be later this week. I think that's the plan, is they'll finalize the staff. I think they got another position, maybe two, but I think it's just one more to go. Word is they hired a tight ends coach today out of Baltimore, former Jags tight end, actually. Played for the Jags for a season. And I just don't know how much light Doug is going to shed on the process of drafting and free agency and where he's involved with that. So maybe Trent will in a couple of weeks and where the latest is on the EVP search. Maybe we'll get an answer from Doug. I think the plan on Peterson is to hear from him and the coordinators coming up later in the week. So it feels more coaching staff related, but maybe something will sneak in from an information piece on the structure of it. But It just feels so late, man. It just feels so late in the game. I mean, yet I'm sitting here in Minnesota. It hasn't even welcomed in Kevin O'Connell yet.
Yeah.
And there was some word today that was starting to split up, and I think it's back on. I think
because there was rumors about Sean McVay walking
exactly.
away.
So it looks like Thursday they'll introduce him, but that's a guy who hasn't even put his staff together.
Yeah.
He's got Keenan McCardell on the staff already. He's got some guys under contract, but gosh, these guys are doing this so late. And I understand it's a long-term play. I mean, the season, you don't have to do everything by March, whatever, when the league year starts. But it just feels like the timetable is so different and so delayed. I mean, where you would see this kind of mystery still involved in a place like Indianapolis when McDaniels backed out and then they had to scurry and hurry to go get Frank Reich, which, by the way, worked out. But that's the kind of feel this has with some of these teams that aren't even completed with their staff. The front office still in limbo here in Jacksonville. At least that's not the case in places like Minnesota and New York and others. They hired the GM first. They knew who was calling the shots.
Well, and also keep in mind, too, I mean, Minnesota, they had no choice but to wait because they had to wait till the Super Bowl was over.
Yeah, for their guy.
Yeah, and that just got done this past Sunday. So, I mean, yeah, it's taken Minnesota a while, and I think McVay's coming back, so I'm sure they're breathing a sigh of relief right now. But, I mean, I get their delay just because you had to wait till the Super Bowl was done.
I'm really interested. Listen, I think these guys put together plans. You can work in any place in the NFL, and you have an idea who the good players are. You've scouted a lot of good players, but where your positions of need are. Let's just take a Spielman, right? Who maybe he comes in here. Like, how easy would it be for him to just transition into Jacksonville and be like, okay, well, we like these guys. I like these guys over the last couple of years when I was looking at them and our scouting department up there, and then there's some needs here. Let's, You do that all the time. I mean,
sure.
Guys like the same players. They evaluate a lot of the same players, of course.
But let me ask you this. How much do you think Spielman knows about this Jaguars roster right now and what they have?
Well, that's fair. And now, if he has been in on the discussions for a while, he probably has been able to do his own research, thinking and knowing that he might land in the front office at some point. So,
maybe,
I don't think he has to walk in the building to be able to do his homework on that.
Oh, no, not at all. But I just wonder, like, how much film has Spielman watched of Jacksonville?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does he have a good idea of the guys that can contribute next year and the guys that probably need to be replaced? I mean, I honestly don't know. I have no idea.
And by the way, where are these other guys coming from? Like, where's the other – and what if it isn't Spielman? I mean, it's not a lock to be Spielman. It's the only name we've heard, right? I mean, who else could be the EVP? Who else could be the assistant GM? Where's this team that's going together to get this organization drafting players and picking the right free agents? And by the way, like, for this team to turn around, even if it's not this year but next year, this process right here over the next month and a half, 2 months is massive. So that's what I'm saying. You can't just get them in here. Get it done. Don't wait.
Yeah, and this is the frustrating thing as well because, yes, there's other teams taking their time. Minnesota obviously is behind the 8 ball a little bit. But I don't think the Vikings fans are necessarily too worried about it because the Vikings fans have a pretty talented roster, and guess what? Aaron Rodgers might be gone next year, so you might be contending for a division title. When you talk about Jacksonville, I mean, there's a reason why you have the first pick in the draft right now. Your roster is going to have some turnover on it. Your personnel is going to need to be changed. The culture needs to be shifted. So I think you have a lot more at stake right now in terms of getting your ducks in a row and coming up with a game plan here and a chain of command of what exactly you want everyone to do just because it is that necessary for the draft. It is that necessary for the combine and free agency. Like, nobody needs a better draft right now, I think, than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No.
Nobody needs to hit more in free agency, possibly, than the Jacksonville Jaguars in terms of, once again, talent and the salary cap.
By the way, right now, you know what I'm noticing?
What you got?
That our setup here. Casey, you approved the setup. I moved the camera back a little bit. Check out our on the video feeds.
Cool.
I mean, it's like a big-time set here.
Cool.
I mean, look, we got the big Jumbotron back there. Maybe we should get them to throw the show in there.
Now you're talking.
I mean, this is well positioned.
Yeah.
Got the Osprey, the ESPN 690. This is some of our best work yet.
It's your best work. I didn't do anything of this, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't.
Nicely done.
But hey, got a little lucky here.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make the jump. We're kind of making the Jumbotron.
What do you mean?
We're kind of in the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us.
I like it.
I like.
You know, I mean, hey,
you
know how I feel about it, man. It's
naming rights are our faces.
Yeah.
Here at UNF Arena. Again, Ospreys will play Liberty, and Josh Berenbaum. They're shooting some pregame shots as they get some work in early. And once these guys get out of class, they come on over, take some shots. Liberty comes to town tonight in ASUN play.
Do we expect Malik Willis here at all for any reason?
I don't think Malik Willis will be here.
I don't know if he's a big basketball fan or not.
Hey, what do you think? Speaking of a guy that reminds you a little bit of Malik Willis, Kyler Murray, what do you make of all this scuttle on Kyler? We got to it late in the show.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it, man. I'm not. I mean, like I said, if J.J. Watt's out there having
just come out though, right? Like, I mean, there's got to be a little bit of a question mark at his maturity, leadership.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's as overblown as everything else, but you know, the one thing about quarterbacks in the NFL, and this is a little bit in college too, but it's magnified in the NFL, is you got to be the CEO.
Yeah.
Right? You're the face. I mean, you think of the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady, you elevate everybody else.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a little bit concern right now. And I think some of that concern, by the way, may be unjustified because when he injured his ankle, he didn't play as well.
No.
The only justification I could see in the Kyler Murray criticism right now is his body language isn't good. Sure. You know, and that's a weird thing to see from a quarterback at this level.
So let me ask you this. Has any of his teammates come out and spoke against him right now?
I haven't seen that.
I'm not worried about it. Did J.J. Watt put out a funny, cryptic Twitter video about how Kyler won't answer his phone and he shook up about it? Absolutely. So, no, I'm not worried about Kyler Murray. And until I start seeing smoke within, the locker room of his teammates, reports saying his teammates are kind of fed up with him, then to me, it's all just hearsay and it's all just rumors as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, listen, and body language is a big thing in sports, and especially at these, at that level and that position. Listen, I talk to my kids about it all the time at their level. I mean, body language is a big thing, and it's a hard thing because you're a competitor. But look, Trevor did a great job all year, but remember the one time where he showed a little angst on not catching the ball. I forget who it might have been Laviska. I don't even know if it was or Treadwell or something. Yeah. And people pointed to it as like, hey, he's frustrated. I mean, that's just how quick it is. Yeah. And he hardly did anything, And so I think it's a fixable trait too. Yeah. It's two things with me in the body language. It's like, okay, you're an ultra competitor. Like I understand. I don't think you're just whining. I think you're an ultra competitor. But can you channel that, right? Can you know that everybody's watching you, everybody's looking at you? So I kind of like the fact that you get mad and frustrated and all that. You know what's funny is my guy that I grew up with watching, I love him, Dan Marino.
Sure.
Like I don't remember that being a problem. Sure. And he would just rip into guys, man.
Yeah, but remember Tom Brady sitting on the field when the Eagles won? Yeah. And everybody wanted to grill Tom Brady over body language? Well, he's the GOAT, though. So, what are we talking about with body language?
Yeah,
the guy who won how many Super Bowl?
You got a little equity?
I mean, I guess.
And maybe just saying Kyler hasn't done enough, hasn't finished it off enough. Has Kyler been better or about the same or worse than you thought he'd be?
That's a good question. The injuries haven't helped him because, we didn't really get to see mobile Kyler Murray this year too much.
Yeah, they didn't try it.
So I would say I'm surprised at him in the pass game, but obviously surprised at him not running the ball more. So I would say it's about a push.
Yeah, he's ultra talented. Yeah, that's for sure. He shows that off, but he probably could be a little bit more consistent.
Yeah,
at the very least, and stay healthy. That's part of it too. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 live at UNF Arena, home of the Ospreys. They play Liberty tonight. Got the best looking set maybe we've ever had. I love it. Hope you do too. Watch it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or listen to us on ESPN 690. We'll be right back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Plenty of sun and milder temperatures this afternoon will reach the mid-60s. Partly cloudy, not as cool tonight, near 50. And a partly cloudy, mild Wednesday. A brief shower or two coming in off the Atlantic tomorrow, but we reach the low 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Beards Diamonds is locally owned, which means the owners are always on premise to give you the absolute lowest price.
2022 Accurate deals have been unleashed with 2.9% APR at your First Coast Accurate dealers. Upgrade to the award-winning 2022 RDX crossover SUV and save when you shop deals at firstcoastaccuratedealers.com. Offer excludes Type S edition.
Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good. It's more than food. It's about the flavor, the tradition. It's barbecue, and it's who we are at Bono's. Locally smoked since 1949. Almost 20 locations around Jacksonville. On the menu, smokehouse stackers, sandwiches, salads, sides, and Bono's family feast. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. Authentic traditional Southern barbecue. Feel the flavor, feel the community. Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good.
Voted Best Gift of the Year for golfers by the ESPN 690 Golf Enthusiast Review Board. Want to make the golfer in your life love you even more? Order the 2022 ESPN Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses are raising their rates with the recent boom. The Dream 18 card has even more value now. For less than dinner for two at your favorite upscale restaurant, you will receive tremendously discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker's Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Play 2 rounds of golf, and the card pays for itself. $69, that's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at ActionSportsShacksDream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to ActionSportsShacksDream18.com.
Start your new year in a like-new car from the pre-owned experts at Arlington Toyota. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 300 used available. All makes, all models. Some even same model year. You've got to see it. And when it comes to buying with confidence, just leave it to my friends at Arlington. Their 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Add some major excitement to your new year and an amazing new ride from Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. In person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding your motorcycle with your buddies on the open road. It's a potent cocktail of thrills, laughter, and pure adrenaline. A feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, sound effects guy.
I'm real proud of you, son.
Wow, that was terrible. Our apologies for even trying. Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
The Players is proud to support Northeast Florida Healthy Start Coalition, which leads a cooperative community effort to address infant mortality and strengthen families. It's 21 days until the Players.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible with Staples Print Big Promise. Your small business marketing will make a big impact. And right now, get 20% off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 2/26. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
Dell Technologies President's Day business sale has arrived. For a limited time, save up to 45% on all our latest gear to work from anywhere with fast free shipping. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business, so now's the time for incredible savings on PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping and quick installation and setup through Dell Installation Services. Get started by shopping online or contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. Again, the number to call is 877-ASK-DELL.
Whether on your radio, on your phone, or your smart speaker.
Now playing ESPN Radio.
He's seen guys that's not even going to make the team. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards in a game.
Wake up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
I am not. I mean, I am. I believe Brady.
He's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back in my view. I think that The reason why I believe it now is because what you said, he's a calculated guy. He's not someone who's doing this, and I don't think that he cares to like promote his clothing brand. Like that stuff, nobody's gonna wear it anyway. You can't look fly in Tom Brady's clothes unless you can throw like Tom Brady. So I don't think he cares about that nearly as much as he cares about being a part of this game. So I think going back to Tampa Bay is not what's gonna happen. My projection and my hope is that mid-season, somebody needs a quarterback. And Tampa Bay is sitting there ready to make that trade.
I don't understand why people are convinced that Tom Brady's coming back. I'm just not. Dominique Foxworth, I think, right?
Yep.
There on the Tom Brady front. Like, I understand why we asked that, and I probably have been like this with other guys. Like, I actually thought Phillip Rivers might do that.
Yeah.
And he had the actual call. He got the call, and he said no. And so I don't know what that phone call was like, and maybe there were other reasons why, but he said no. Like, he actually had, like, the golden opportunity to come back with Carson Wentz and COVID and all that stuff, and he wasn't going to do it. Now, meanwhile, the NFL changed the rules, and Carson came back anyway, so it didn't matter. But you're not as well. We've had this conversation, but it's just interesting to hear other people continue to talk about it. And, by the way, I think this will be a storyline. Is like, I don't know what Tom Brady's going to have to do to convince everybody that he's retired. Like, it's not like the football season will start and he's not on a roster. I think we're going to have to get through the entire football season before people admit.
Well, and then even the entire football season, who's to say, well, he misses it so much he has to come back the next year?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, seriously, I think Tom Brady's going to have a couple years where if he doesn't come back, people are still going to be like, wow, he's still got, you know, I mean, he's still eating avocado ice cream, not eating the carb. He can still pull it off if he wants to.
Yeah. You know the only way I think he comes back?
What you got?
If he gets, like, divorced.
Okay. Let's not wish that on anybody, though.
I'm not.
Okay.
I told you, I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's getting divorced.
Okay.
Like, I think he's given way to the family. I really do. I think that's real.
No, absolutely.
I got him at his word on that. I think this life for Tom Brady has been about Tom Brady for 20-something years. And I think when you get into your mid-40s and you've got your kids growing up and you want to be around that more and it's time to give back to all the sacrifices they made for you, I think that's real. I really do. I think these guys know family life balance, and there's nothing to come back and prove other than that Tom Brady's old. Like, that's the only thing that he would have to prove.
I'm not saying Tom Brady, I want Tom Brady to come back. Like, if you're happy being retired, man, then by all means. I'm just saying the conversation of Tom Brady coming back or not, I still think even after the football season's done this up-and-coming year, I still think there's going to be rumblings and conversations saying, well, he can still come back. He can still do it.
All right. Well, let's welcome in Matthew Driscoll right now, UNF men's basketball coach. I don't know if he has a thought. Tom Brady coming back or no? Is he retired, trying to spend time with the family, spend some of that money, Coach?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think when you look at kind of like who he is and kind of what he stands for and how he's always seems like he's the guy that's always prepared. He's the guy that always comes in the way he's supposed to come in. All those things. I think throughout the season next year, when you look at injuries and you look at where teams are, and they might be this, that, or the other away from, they built a great team, but they lost this guy. And I think that's, they lose a Stafford, let's say. You look at now, you might say, hey, this guy might come back for 4 games and in the playoffs or something like that. So I think this conversation is not just going to end. I think it's going to go on through the next season because he's one phone call away from just coming off, whatever, driving a cab or whatever he wants to do, Uber or whatever he wants to do. But I don't believe he's getting divorced, and I don't think any of those things are going to transpire with him. I would say this to you guys. I think something you guys talked about a lot, about the way the Jaguars were when they went to the championship and lost. They really had the interior line on both sides of the ball was really, really special. And I think when you look at the game Sunday and you have the Cups or you have the OBJs or you have a guy like, Stafford's numbers are ridiculous. Matt Ryan's numbers are ridiculous. And I think when you have that interior line, it showed the dominance on one side of the ball and then the ability to keep the other guy upright. So I really think that we've got to make sure as we move through this free agents, and this is my opinion, the Jaguars, as we go through this free agency, that we somehow secure those two particular areas up at another level. Because, in my opinion, it was the difference in the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a really good point. It was a difference in the last couple of plays, especially. We thought it was going to be a significant difference. And you're right. The Jags were really good that year on both sides of the ball. They ran the ball. They were top 10 in the league in rushing. Actually, I think they were more like first or second in the league in rushing. And they were very good on the interior with guys like Marcel Darius and Calais Campbell. I got a question for you, Coach. As you welcome Liberty into town tonight, we'll talk about the basketball in a moment. But if in all your examples to your players over the years, you pull from, I'm assuming coaches pull from other coaches and players, and maybe it's a quote here or an example there. Coaches in your profession, most of them have read like every John Wooden book. But is there like a player or an example or a sport that you'll pull from to give a, maybe an analogy or a life lesson or something with your guys more than others, or you really mix it up?
We mix it up a ton, and even go back to Jordan. Chaz missed 2 game-winning threes, and so you go back to the Jordan quote, and you send it that my team trusted me 26 times and I missed, yada yada. So I'm a big believer, obviously, and I love a book, and it has 66 chapters in it, and there's a lot of things in that that I go to as well too, but. Like you can show so many different things. You can talk about a Ja Morant and wherever that looks like and kind of how that fits into what you're doing. You could talk about a guy like Stafford, a guy that's been in a certain place and then what he's done. You talk about a guy and how he Kobe Bryant. You talk about how he kind of goes through his everyday and what that everyday looks like. You talk about a guy like Nick Saban. And Kobe and Saban's conversation for a minute, we show the guys, which talks about editing the noise around you, and every part of the season becomes different editing. And so, we really, really, really pull. I love all kind of different stuff that guys share with me. If it's a McVay or if it's even the Navy SEAL lady we used this year, who was the first lady that was involved in that, and her talk about, kind of what that did for her and how that looked. So it really is a different genre and a different outlet. It's not just one particular sport or even, one particular industry.
Coach, with your styles and philosophies, you're getting ready to play Liberty today, and obviously, they're top of the conference right now. You guys would be considered the underdogs. Mm-hmm. When you handle a game, when you handle a game like this, do you play up the underdog role a little bit and say, "Hey, people are counting us out. We got to prove them wrong," or do you take it from the standpoint of it doesn't matter who we're playing. If we take care of ourselves, we can win this game?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that question. I'm not a big believer in David versus Goliath in the sense that I believe in why it transpired, but I really believe that David was prepared. I believe that when they told David to wear the shields and do all those different things, and he threw all that stuff away and said, listen, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this. I've been protecting. And then he has a club in his hand, and the lions try to come and take his sheep, and he grabs the lion by the throat with his club. So I don't believe in the fact that the little guy beat the big guy. I'm really more into that the preparation is what's critical. And so like for tonight, it's like, for instance, Jacksonville State, there's a good example. They had just beaten Liberty at Liberty. Liberty had a 45-game unbeaten streak at home, second longest in the country next to Gonzaga. And then Jacksonville State beats them, and they now have a 10-game winning streak, and they're flowing and feeling good. And we go up there and literally handle them the whole entire game, including double digits almost the whole second half. So, we go in with more of the attitude of, like, today. Here's who they are. Here's what they do. We're the second best defensive team in the league, FYI. We in the last 5 games, they're 3-2, we're 3-2. Here's where we've gotten better. Here's what we've done differently, and where we really and no Jose, no Carter. Okay, great. So we'll ask them not to come and play the game. It don't work that way. And so just like Saturday, Jose, Carter don't play on the road. A team that's 6-5 and moving up the league standings and all that kind of stuff. And like, okay, great. So that's kind of how we go about it. Like, here's what we do. Here's how we do it. Here are the guys that are eligible to play tonight. So this is what we need to do to win, and let's get it on. And we always talk about that. Let's get it on. Like, and our saying is, let the chips fall where they may. As long as it's on our terms and we do things the way we want to do them, and we know we're not perfect. However, you can't not say, like, this is what we like. Like, you don't want fortune to come into play in the sense that now you're relying on something that you're not controlling. So control the controllables, do the things that you're good at, but take open threes, preferably make open threes, continue to, guard the way we're guarding, defending the rim at a high level, defending the arc like we've always have, but we didn't early, but now we are. I think we're 26% in the last 5 games defending the arc. So, like, those things, Austin, like, that's what you guys got to understand. Like, as a team, like there's no magic potion. And that's great. They're in first place. Well, guess what? Somebody has to be. Somebody's going to lead your team in scoring. Somebody's going to lead your team. Like, that's at the end of the day, that's what happens in athletics. But, like, did you tell Hartford last night that they were going to play undefeated 20-game winning streak for Vermont and lose? No. And they end up winning. They had 5 wins going into the game. So, like, it's all about how you go about every day. And the other thing, too, Austin, how do you prepare to beat Texas Tech? How do you prepare to beat UCLA? How do you prepare to beat Kentucky? How do you prepare to beat those guys? Or all of a sudden, are those guys the Goliath? So it's really about, understanding that everybody's got a special function, and understand that when you come together as one heartbeat, that special function, whatever that is, it's got to come out when the lights come on.
Matthew Driscoll with us.
I'm ready to play right now, Brent.
Absolutely. UNF men's basketball coach. These guys have been ready to play, too, and that's the thing. Listen, I'm biased here. Love Coach Driscoll, but I think you're doing a heck of a job this year, man. I know most people wouldn't say that with an 8-18 record. You lost 5 games with 3 points or less in league play. I think you've had your 2 best players on the floor for an entire game in league play twice. That's it. And you're getting these guys to battle every night, and you're right there and pulled off a nice win at Kennesaw State the other day. So I think there's more to the record of what you guys are doing. But there's also, the reality is Liberty's good, and Liberty's really good, and Darius McGee is really, really good. We've seen Dallas Moore around here. We've seen some other really good players. When I first started here in Jacksonville, Ben Smith from JU came to mind. Where's Darius McGee on the list of A-Sun players in recent memory? Because this kid can flat out score. He had 26 in the first half the other night against JU. He's legit, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he's first of all, he's a really, really good human being. I got to spend a lot of one-on-one time with him last year when they were here for the tournament. So I really got to know him a little bit differently. And the one thing, Richie and I talked last night when they came to practice, and I said to Richie, I love your halftime interviews because the first thing you start with is, as long as we have Darius McGee, we're going to be okay. And I said, and I pointed up to the banner, and I said, that dude was like when you have that dude, like, you always understand kind of what it looks like and kind of what it's going to be. And if he has a bad beginning or a bad middle, in this kid's case, you always think every single one of them is going in. And that he has the ability to kind of not only keep you in the game, but also lift the guys around them to play at a different level. And I think that's what makes those guys special, that he's lifted Kyle Rhodes, that he's lifting Keegan McDonald, that he's lifting Shiloh Robinson, that he's lifting those other guys, Rhodes shooting 54 from 3 and Robinson shooting 60 from 3 and, McDowell shooting 44. Like, they're shooting 44 from 3. Well, the reason is, just like us, we led the country in three-point makes and three-point shooting. Although, when you got that guy, driving the Lamborghini, that makes it so much different because the amount of stress that he puts on your defense and the amount of stress that he puts on your scheme is really, really high. So he's definitely one of those decade guys. And obviously they've been very good with him. And the league's really good. I told you that before the year started.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's competitive.
There's 6 to 7 teams when the tournament comes that can go to the NCAA tournament. And because it's home court advantage, that seeding just becomes all that much more greater. So we're excited for tonight. We understand the challenge that's in hand. We've won 3 in a row on the road, which I would like to flip. And we just lost. Obviously we lost five close ones at home, one possession games at home, and a really good Bellarmine team the other night with a chance to make a 3 to go up 1 and make some free throws. Obviously, I think free throws have failed us. We tell the guys 5 to 7 games, and again Saturday we go 6 for 8 down the stretch, and it helps us win the game. So super excited about tonight and looking forward to the challenge.
All right, last one for you. Wasn't it Bobby Knight, I forget who it was against, but he said, yeah, it's all right. We're going to let that guy go score like 45 or 50, but we're going to guard everybody else. You ever think about just employing that against, McGee tonight?
So that's actually an interesting question that you say that. And actually, we actually went the other way. North Carolina was number 1 in the country. We were the beginning of their Black Sundays. Okay. They had 4 Sundays in a row that they lost. Us, Duke in the tournament, Penn State to go to the Sweet 16, and we were at the bottom of the ACC at the time, and we came in. We've actually played a triangle in 2, and we actually took their 2 best players away, and Ronald Curry played in the NFL, Austin, probably with you. Yeah. He banked in a 3 to start the game, and I turned to coach and I said, man, this is going to be great, and he took 6 more and missed all 6. So really, I'm not one of those guys that thinks letting those guys go off. Because think about this, he got 48 and broke Parker's record this year.
Yeah.
So you let those guys go off. You let Dallas Moore go off, he could get 50. He got 55 in China. Those guys can get 50. So I'm not a believer in that at all.
Yeah, I just crossed my mind because I know he's just so talented. But Liberty's talented around him is what you're saying too.
Sure.
And that's the thing. It's not just a one-guy team at all. All right, Matthew Driscoll, go get a nap in, man. We'll see you back here tonight, 7 o'clock. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate you, my brother.
You bet. That's Matthew Driscoll, UNF men's basketball coach here at the arena tonight, 7 o'clock. It's really been tough. Jose Placer is a really good player for them. Carter Hendrickson's a really good player. I'm talking the heartbeats of their team. And they just haven't been healthy. They just can't get them healthy. If they can get them healthy for the tournament, they are dangerous. People aren't going to want to play them. Yeah. They have. I've watched it up close. They've lost 5 games by a 3-pointer or less. So
I love Coach's mindset here, where it's about the work, it's about the dedication. It reminds me when I first started my MMA career as an amateur. I got the privilege to train with Nate Diaz for a day. Oh wow! And this was right before Nate Diaz had his match with Conor McGregor. It was a short notice fight. And I'll be honest, Nate Diaz didn't really teach me anything. Because I asked him, all right, Nate, so say I get the inside leg kick. What do I do here? He's like, man, just get punched in the face and punch him back. What else do you want? Because, this is Nate Diaz we're talking about here.
He's going to bloody it up.
But I'll never forget, as we're leaving the gym, and I was a Conor McGregor fan, but I told him, hey, man, good luck against Conor McGregor. And I'll never forget, he turned to me, he said, luck's for losers. And I'm like, okay. And at that moment it dawned on me, okay, so this guy already knows that he's prepared, he's ready to roll. Yeah, he may be a giant underdog, doesn't matter. He ends up choking Conor McGregor out with a rear naked choke and shock the world, man.
Do what you do, right?
Do what you do, man.
Do what you do and do it well. All right, hopefully we'll do it well when we come back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, live from UNF Arena on the campus of the University of North Florida.
Three of the biggest names in sports will be at Palm Beach Autographs in the Avenues Mall in February. Mike Tyson, Ric Flair, and Pete Rose all on one weekend at Palm Beach Autographs. On Thursday, February 24th, Tyson is in town. Then on Friday, the all-time hit king Pete Rose. And Saturday, the wrestling icon Ric Flair. PalmBeachAutographs.com/signings for more information and times. Tickets for autographs and professional photo opportunities are available at Palm Beach Autographs in the Avenues Mall or online at PalmBeachAutographs.com. Mike Tyson, Pete Rose, Ric Flair in Jacksonville, February 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Don't let a cold keep you up. Take NyQuil Severe for max strength relief for your worst cold and flu symptoms so you can rest tonight and get back at it tomorrow. NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief for your worst cold and flu symptoms. NyQuil Severe temporarily relieves common cold and flu symptoms, including cough, sore throat, headache, minor aches and pains, fever, runny nose, and sneezing. NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed.
Hi, my name's Joe Cordell. Sometimes in divorce, courts require the higher earner to pay to the other party what's called spousal support or alimony. Usually this order can be modified in certain circumstances, but such modifications are often complicated and are best entrusted to attorneys that are well acquainted with such matters. You're not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Voted best gift of the year for golfers by the ESPN 690 Golf Enthusiast Review Board. Want to make the golfer in your life love you even more? Order the 2022 ESPN Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses are raising their rates with the recent boom. The Dream 18 card has even more value now. For less than dinner for two at your favorite upscale restaurant, you will receive tremendously discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker's Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Play 2 rounds of golf, and the card pays for itself. $69, that's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at ActionSportsShacks, Dream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to ActionSportsShacks, Dream18.com. The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Action News Jack's first alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It could be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead. So you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm the girl from that alien movie you watch on demand. Our worlds have been brought together thanks to DirecTV Stream.
Why are you whispering?
Because the alien will hear us.
Maybe let the alien know you can get DirecTV Stream with no annual contract.
He seems pretty excited by that, actually.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
certainly. I think, you go into a season. If you're going into a season and didn't think that you could win it all, it'd be a pretty depressing place to play from. So, certainly you go into every year believing that, understanding though that there's so much work that has to be done, so much time, so much effort, so much sacrifice has to go into that. So you certainly go in knowing that that's the goal. But like I said, we take a one day at a time mindset. Dominate every single day, and hopefully you get presented with that opportunity to go out there and play on Sunday for the World Championship.
I don't know who that is. Is that Stafford?
Cooper Kupp.
That's a guy that is kind of under the radar, unrecognizable.
Doesn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
He just goes about his business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, UNF Arena. Just a couple minutes, and then we'll hit the top of the hour. How about the viewership for the Super Bowl? Way up. What's funny is I didn't feel it, Austin. I've said this. I said this on Friday. I'm not, super excited, jacked up for the Super Bowl like I thought I would be. I enjoyed the game, but I also just didn't feel it like, oh, my gosh, I feel like everybody in the world is watching this. I know everybody watches. I think I told you, even with Cincinnati in it, I think it wasn't going to change that much. Might go down a couple million, up a couple million, whatever it is. Well, it actually was pretty significant bump from last year's game with Tom Brady and the Bucs.
Yeah, it's wild.
I think that's pretty surprising to me.
It's really cool. It's cool when you don't have a dynasty like the Patriots that you love to hate. You don't have Tom Brady who's so polarizing. Either you love him or you hate him. You had, I don't want to say refreshing teams because the Rams were in a couple years ago, but you have the Rams and a brand spanking new team in the Bengals, and in numbers like that, I think that's a good sign for the NFL going forward.
I say this somewhat snarky because I always knew, I didn't think the sport was being hammered when everybody was saying it was going to being hammered. I was like, if you have $1 billion and you lose $50 million, did you really lose a lot? Yeah. And that's a bad example probably. But it obviously is another sign. Even if you thought it was going down, it's back up. The NFL, it's like bulletproof, man. It's going to take a PR hit. Listen, they take PR hits every week.
It's too big to fail.
It really is.
Yeah.
And gambling and our addiction to the game now and our addiction to our life habits of Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
And, it's not just us that cover it or are fans of it or diehards of it. It's everybody. And the Super Bowl showcased it again.
Absolutely.
So if you're in that camp, you might want to stop that battle because you're not going to win it.
Now, L.A., outside the top 10 in terms of ratings.
Is that where they were? Cincinnati was number one?
Yeah, I don't know where everybody
That's
was.
That's why I joked. Yeah. I said, how many people at the parade?
Yeah.
Over under 10.5 people.
Ouch. Did L.A. come for you?
A
that one?
Yeah.
A little bit?
They all thought I was mad that the L.A. won and that the Bengals.
Yeah.
I was just I was really just playing off the Kings parade.
Of course.
But, hey, we'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, 4 o'clock hour. Coming up from UNF Arena.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tobacco-Free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you never come back to smoke. I'll never come back to smoke. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Well, the holidays are behind us, and that means nothing but open road ahead. So make every mile this new year the best it can be in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota's got 500 new Toyotas available and ready for wherever you want to go in 2022. Plus, every new car purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with a lifetime warranty and Arlington's 30-day exchange program. Where will your new Toyota take you in 2022? Find out and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Koala insulation.
am Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Get revved up for the Jacksonville International Auto Show because it's bigger than ever. We're adding an extra day. The show opens Thursday, February 17th at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. With inventory tight across Florida, it's your unique chance to experience the latest models, new EVs, crossovers, SUVs, and trucks, rare exotics, remarkable classics. Tickets on Thursday the 17th are half price. Bring a food donation for Feeding Northeast Florida. Free parking from ViStar Credit Union, discount coupons at gate gas stations. Get your tickets now at jacksautoshow.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The spotlight in the NBA today on Ben Simmons and James Harden. They spoke with reporters days after the mega trade that shipped Simmons to the Nets and Harden to the 76ers. Simmons acknowledged he's feeling good physically and mentally, but doesn't have a date yet for his Brooklyn debut. He believes the Nets will be scary when he joins Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the floor. At his introductory press conference, Harden wouldn't divulge what happened with the Nets. He said the Sixers were his first choice last season when he requested a trade from Houston. He called Philadelphia the opportunity of a lifetime. The heat's on Harden as well as his new coach, believes our Jay Williams.
I think this puts an immense amount of pressure on Doc Rivers, especially with a guy, James Harden, where it didn't work out with Russell, it didn't work out with CP3, and it didn't work out with KD and Kyrie. And now all of a sudden, am I just supposed to believe it's just going to work with Joel Embiid because the pieces fit? I'm curious to see if Doc Rivers can make it work.
Jay of Keyshawn, Jay, and Max on Barton Hahn. Harden won't play this week or in Sunday's NBA All-Star game as he continues to rehab his hamstring strain. The Sixers hope his debut happens before the end of this month.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Can you appreciate how hard it was for Matthew to walk into the Lions and ask for a trade? And do you ever wonder what would have happened if they would have said no?
I don't like to think about those things, but I think it's such a credit to how he handles himself. I also think Mrs. Ford, what a class way of handling that, whether it be, her or Rod Wood. I mean, they just did such a great job of facilitating a smooth change or adjustment, however you want to look at it. But I think that's a real reflection of two quality people on both ends, the way he handled it. And getting to know Matthew, you just realize, he's one of the few people that could ever pull that off. But really grateful that we were able to get connected.
Yeah. Which trade could the Jags make from Cabo?
Yeah.
That's where that all went down,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
I think it was Cabo.
Yep, I believe so.
I mean, sheesh. They won a Super Bowl because of a vacation trip. Do they win? They can't win with Jared Goff, right? They couldn't have won the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. Oh, man.
Stafford was good in the postseason, I mean, he made mistakes, and people look at all those pick sixes in that stretch.
I think they would have been competitive, but I don't think they would have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Jared Goff and not many others can make that no-look pass. I still can't believe that.
Oh, I know, man.
I mean, and by the way, I think what that does, that actually puts Matthew Stafford in a different echelon right there for me, because how many other plays like that we really don't see that he makes, how the degree of difficulty. I'm not saying how many no-look passes. I'm just saying the degree of difficulty inside football stuff that they're like, whoa, right? And Matthew Stafford's got the arm talent, number one, that few have. but the experience. Like, so now you're asking Jared Goff, who's definitely not on that level of quarterback, to make some of those throws, whether it was in Week 4, whether it was in the first game of the postseason, whether it's in the Super Bowl. And I just think you add up, even if it's 15 or 20 plays in a season, those are difference-maker type of plays. And, again, don't lose sight of the fact that Matthew Stafford played big time for the most part in the postseason.
Sure.
He was really good in critical moments.
Mm-hmm.
And so Matthew Stafford was as big a part of it as anybody.
Yeah.
And I think to answer my own question, I don't think they're even sniffing a Super Bowl with Goff, to be honest.
No, I mean, I think they definitely make the playoffs because they're still too talented not to. But as far as the Super Bowl, I don't see it happening with Jared Goff at the helm.
Hey, let's get South Beach Gary in. We're live at UNF Arena. Ospreys play Liberty tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN+. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz. South Beach Gary, what's happening?
How are you, gentlemen?
Good, good.
Hey, Pro Football Focus just came out with third list of the top 200 free agents. I wonder if you guys would please take a position, not what you think Jacksonville will do, but say, give me a listing of 3 guys in a certain position that you would like Jacksonville to sign in free agency in that position.
So you want, like, all right, thanks, South Beach. If I understand him, he wants positionally to narrow down a position. So just go get, like, defensive tackle.
Okay.
Or go get wide receiver.
Okay.
Right? And the 3 guys. Casey, is that kind of what he was saying?
Yeah.
Do you want to pick a position, Casey? Or do you just want us to spitball here? I mean, what position should we go here, guys?
Well, they put out there, I didn't see the top 2. If they put a list at 200?
Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
And spoiler alert, a lot of wide receivers in the top 10.
Well, and that's really, listen, that's where my mind goes.
Okay.
Right? And because here's the deal. To South Beach Gary's point, you could probably say, hey, left guard, right?
Yeah.
You could say defensive tackle. You could say defensive front. We could say B.J. Hill is on that list.
Yes.
But I do think we're all in the same thought that what are you going to do to help Trevor Lawrence, number one? And number two, if you look at these teams, Odell Beckham Jr., Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and we don't have to just stop there, by the way. Devontae Adams. I mean, you A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I mean, you look at the list of weapons that the good offenses have, whether they're using the tight end game, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and everyone else, or they're just there on the outside. The Jags just don't have that. They don't have those threats. Marvin Jones isn't going to be that. DJ Chark might not be here anymore. Laviska Shenault has to really bounce back. Like, they don't have that. And so I really think that's where this goes. And then it's who would you get? Well, it's pretty obvious, right? I mean, you'd go Devontae Adams, number one. Then the list starts to factor in injuries. Is it Chris Godwin? He's a 25-year-old guy. I think he's about to be 26. So you got a lot of football left in that guy now. He's coming off an ACL. But you can do some things. Michael Gallup, not as high on my list coming off an ACL as a guy. Like, I take a chance on Godwin that he gets healthy and he's a part of it for my next 4 or 5 years with Trevor Lawrence, then probably Gallup, because I think Gallup's going to be an overpaid, expensive, risky play. Not saying he's bad. I just think he's the prime candidate to be overpaid in free agency. Everybody's overpaid, but he's like really overpaid and be a bust kind of guy, because can he be the number one? Not sure. He hasn't had to do that in Dallas. He's got a lot of help, speaking of weapons, in Dallas. So I think it really goes to the wide receiver position in this question, Gary, if I'm understanding you right. And I think it starts with that list. When you have as much money as the Jags have, you start at the top.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure you're going to get him. Godwin might be, by the way, franchised. Devontae Adams might never even think about picking up the phone if he sees the 904 calling.
Yeah.
You know, and plenty of suitors. And by the way, he might get franchised. So we might be on like number 5, 6, and 7 are options from the wide receiver position when it really boils down to it. And then are you willing to pay Allen Robinson what he wants, DJ Chark what he wants? Because now you're starting to get into that mix of players.
So Pro Football Focus here, top 200, number one guy obviously is Devontae Adams at the wide receiver position. Number 3 out of the top 200, this is every position, is Chris Godwin at the wide receiver position. Down the list a little bit, we go to number 7. Care to guess who the third wide receiver on this list is in terms of, I guess, I don't know like what the criteria
So they had
would be.
Adams and Godwin?
Yep.
Who's the guy that we've talked about a lot? Who else got hurt? Didn't somebody else get hurt?
He didn't get hurt.
He didn't get hurt?
He didn't get hurt. In case you've seen it. He didn't get hurt.
Well, this year. Anyway.
No.
Free agent, wide receiver. I don't know. Is Lockett a wide receiver? Is Lockett a free agent? No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Mike Williams.
Oh, yeah, I should have known.
Mike Williams, and then they have Allen Robinson actually at number 10.
I like Mike Williams.
So then he's the fourth receiver
Really?
on this list.
In their top 200 free agents, Allen Robinson's number 10.
Yep.
You know me, I love A-Rob.
Strengths, contested catches, body control, hands, weaknesses, his quarterbacks, and speed.
Well, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, A-Rob had a miserable year in Chicago this year. He's really had a miserable time. He's had a miserable time in his career.
Yeah. Do you know what I hope A-Rob doesn't turn into? And it kind of reminds me of a little bit because I played with him. Alshon Jeffrey. Where there was a time where Alshon Jeffrey was arguably one of the best receivers in the league. And then he just goes to certain situations that didn't benefit him.
Including Chicago.
Including Chicago, but then he got hurt too, so injuries did play a part in that. But then he goes to Philly, and it's kind of an afterthought. And now, I mean, I'm not sure what he's doing.
All right, so take Adams and Godwin off the board.
Okay.
Mike Williams next? Like, you get excited about giving Mike Williams $115 million over 5 years?
I mean, I like Williams better than Gallup. I mean, what are the other options? You know, I mean, if we're talking about free agents at wide receiver, you can't get Adams, you can't get Godwin.
Yeah,
Listen,
I don't mind. Mike Williams, big guy. I mean, I like.
I mean, he's with him it's speed.
Yeah,
you know, it's the home run ball, which we haven't seen here in a long time.
And he also should be able to bring you that Allen Robinson trade of like the 50-50 ball too, right? So what I would say is this for the Jags. I don't know who else was after A-Rob, but the front runners were Godwin and Devontae. They're going to get this huge money, right? And maybe get franchised, so then that wouldn't be huge money.
Odell Beckham Jr. is number 19. Now, I'm not sure if this is before or after the injury, though. You know?
Yeah, well, either way.
Yeah.
But so wouldn't you say, though, once you get past – so where was Gallup on the list?
He's next after Odell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you get past Mike Williams, don't you really start to question if guys are bona fide number ones? And the receiving, I mean, A-Rob, you can question whether he's a bona fide number one, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the question we had around here about him, quite frankly. And I don't know if he's done enough in Chicago to prove that he's like Godwin and Devontae Adams. And then Odell Beckham, I mean, yeah, big name. And I know he really had a nice year in L.A., but now he's coming off the ACL. But even still, I'm not sure I'd sit here and tell you, okay, he's going to light the world on fire as a number one. And so now don't the Jags have to start looking at that, like, B-list guy, which might not be a $20 million guy, but it's more like a $12 or $13 million guy? And does that bring you back to the A-Robs of the world, but also a DJ Chark of the world?
Yeah.
That maybe you're like, you know what, it's we'll take a chance on this. We know this guy. We know what he's all about. We've seen what good is. We've seen what he can do. He hasn't done a lot. We're probably overpaying, but we're going to take a gamble here that's the guy we know. We know when we pay him, he's still going to work. He's not going to just take a vacation. Is it safer for the Jags to go that route? And, quite frankly, draft another guy that hopefully turns into a number one. Because, bottom line, my point is if you're not getting Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, or Mike Williams, I'm really not sure you're getting a number one wide receiver. I think you're taking a risk that's a top-flight elite wide receiver.
Well, and that's the thing about Mike Williams. I mean, is Mike Williams even a number one receiver?
I think it's debatable.
Because you had Keenan Allen. But at the same time, like, if I was to ask you when the season started this past year, is Cooper Kupp the number one receiver or is Robert Woods the number one receiver? I think depending on last year's numbers, you make an argument for both of them.
Yeah.
Because Kupp was primarily the slot guy last year. Robert Woods had a pretty good year himself in terms of touchdowns. I mean, Kupp only had 3. Robert Woods had 6. So you can make an argument and say that, you know, Robert Woods was the number one receiver last year. Well, then what happened this year? Obviously, it was the Cooper Kupp breakout year. So I'm not saying you have to have, you know, your Devontae Adams, your DeAndre Hopkins, where it's like, all right, we know the ball is going to him regardless. That's what Cooper Kupp became because Robert Woods got hurt and then Odell Beckham Jr. gets hurt. So he had to be that guy in the Super Bowl. But if you look at Mike Williams and what Mike Williams does, I mean, was he 1A, or even a 2? It didn't matter. He was the deep threat. And he took a lot of pressure off Keenan Allen underneath because now Keenan Allen, with his great hands, his great route running, can get open. So I don't look at it as like saying, okay, you're going to bring in Mike Williams. Is he going to be the go-to guy? Is he going to get you 9, 10 touchdowns this year? I'm not sure about that, but he offers you an interesting dynamic, an interesting wrinkle where this is the deep threat. This guy can burn anybody deep, and now that opens up the underneath routes as well, and that helps Trevor Lawrence most importantly.
Who's the number 1 wide receiver on Kansas City?
I mean, I think Tyreek Hill's the number 1 receiver, and then you got Travis Kelce as
maybe your number
tight
1
end. Yeah.
Who's the number 1 threat on the Cowboys?
I mean, I think if everybody's healthy, you'd go Cooper still.
Lamb?
I mean, I'll go Cooper.
You just brought up the question about the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the number 1 threat receiver on Seattle? Is it Metcalf?
It's DK Metcalf is the one, yes.
Okay, so what I'm getting at here is, and obviously you'd like any of those guys, right? I mean,
well, let me ask you this. Who's the one in Tampa Bay?
Well, that's good. You're answering my question, kind of.
Okay.
I think it varies game to game,
mm-hmm.
right? I don't think I would pick just one.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, but you know what? I should take that back. I think Mike Evans actually is like maybe one of the most underrated football players in the league.
Okay.
I don't know if he gets his just due. I would still put him as the number 1 guy.
Okay.
I would say that, yeah. And then you can add in everybody else. But I think I would say Evans. But you're answering we're answering the question.
Mm-hmm.
I just asked this. Okay, so do the Jags need a number 1 wide receiver, or do the Jags need 3 receivers, or 3 threats? You know what I mean? And I was being a little bit funny with it because I know it's going to read funny on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, if I look at all those teams we just mentioned, I throw Arizona in there with a healthy Hopkins. I think an offense in the league that's clicking and rocking,
mm-hmm.
outside of probably Green Bay. Really, Green Bay's different because they've got like their backs that are doing a lot of the work as well,
sure.
and their tight ends. But they're nobody that's like whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's from a Pro Bowl All-Pro standpoint outside of Devontae.
Mm-hmm.
He's really their lead guy. He's kind of like the old school way. He's got that lead guy, and then you got the running back game, and then you got the tight end game, and you blend it all together.
Okay.
But all these other teams have like 1, 2, 3 option where any Sunday I'm not really sure who my number 1 guy that I'm taking away is.
I mean, you still have teams like the Bills. Diggs is still the number 1 guy, even though they have a good tight end, Dawson Knox and everything.
Fair.
And Gabriel Davis had a monster game, but Diggs is still the number 1 guy there. Minnesota, it's still Jefferson. I mean, Thielen was hurt this year a little bit, but their go-to guy is Jefferson. I think even in Las Vegas, Hunter Renfrow is the number 1 guy. Which is kind of
Waller
crazy.
could be a number 1 threat.
I mean, he's a number 1 threat. Yeah,
biggest
but
mismatch.
Yeah, sure. But if we're talking about if we're talking about receiving threats, then sure. If we're talking about wide receivers in general, then yeah, I think it is Hunter Renfrow. But no, I think the question is what do you need out of your wide receivers if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars? Well, how can you upgrade the depth right now? How can you upgrade the team? And I think that's with speed. I think that's with a deep threat. Because, I mean, assuming you retain Marvin Jones, you know what Marvin Jones does, right? He's not going to be that deep threat for you. I think when DJ Chark's healthy, you know what he does. Laviska Shenault obviously had an underachieving season this year, but you don't consider him as a deep threat at all. He's more of the gadget guy, the underneath guy. This team is lacking that deep threat. It's lacking that speed, and that's why I think Mike Williams could be that guy.
But it's interesting, too, as I get, like right now I'm getting A-Rob and Kirk, says Matthew, and I think somebody else like that, and then Adam says A-Rob. But to your point, like speed is lacking. Like those guys aren't it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not telling you they're bad. Listen, I love A-Rob. I would love A-Rob to come back here. I think I know what I'm getting in him. I think he wins plays. He helps you win games. I think he's a stud, really. But when you're asking speed, which his team lacks, like that's not it. Like that's not what he's doing.
But I think that this team just lacks better receiver play in general. I mean, if you bring in Allen Robinson, he's the day 1 starter. Like I would put him over Marvin Jones. I'd put him over Shenault, and I'd put him over DJ Chark. So I mean, with that being said, yeah, it's not necessarily speed, but it's an upgrade.
So does Chark give you enough speed, do you think? Because he's a big body guy that can run.
Sure.
But does he give you enough speed to give you what you want? So what I'm saying, can you bring Chark back and go get A-Rob for the price it would cost you to get Devontae Adams?
How many times have we seen Chark break a 70-yard touchdown
I really haven't seen Chark do too
route.
Much since the second year, quite frankly.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
So
and I like the kid.
So no, for sure. And I think he's a great receiver when he's healthy. So if we answer the question like that, then no, I'm not confident with it.
Yeah. So And listen, I know some people say sign 2: Mike Williams, Allen Robinson, Christian Kirk, and draft Drake London at 33. So yeah, I think everybody wants to do that. They got to remember the Jags have a lot of holes to fill. Mm-hmm. They're not going to go all in like that on one position. I don't see them doing that. Now I wouldn't mind it if they got 2 guys. Now I think getting a free agent and a draft pick is feasible. Mm-hmm. But signing 2 and getting a draft pick is not feasible. Like, I don't see them doing that. They're not going to put that kind of resources into the one position when they have so many other holes to help and fix as well. Mm-hmm. Now, I could see sign 1, sign a tight end, draft a top-flight wide receiver with that second pick. I can see that, right? Because now you're still adding a weapon for Trevor. But it's just an interesting way to look about it because I think we just gave an example of about 15, 16 teams. Some have that old-school number 1 guy and then have some pieces around that help complement. But a lot of these teams that are really good, like really threaten, even with the big-time quarterbacks, are just built to have like 3 different targets that on this Sunday, that guy's having a 115-yard day. This Sunday, this guy's having a 115-yard 2-touchdown day. And you really don't know which one to take away.
Yeah.
And they have different skill sets, too. To make it all work and give the offensive play caller a lot of different weapons. The Jags, again, they are lacking speed. If you had a speed guy, if you had a Godwin to the fold, and then you still had Marvin Jones and LaVisca even. Mm-hmm. Well, now you've got a couple of different guys, right? And you've got some styles. Like, that's what the speed guy does, is he accentuates the style of a LaVisca because now he's drawing attention. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's do this for an exercise then. Let's take every playoff team this year because that's kind of what you're shooting for, and let's see if they have just one go-to guy or if it's 1A and 1B. And Casey, feel free to join along here. Kansas City Chiefs?
With 1C and D.
Pittsburgh Steelers? I think Deontay Johnson's the go-to guy.
I think that's it, right? Juju Smith-Schuster's a shell of what we thought he was.
Chase Claypool's every once in a while, but I would say Deontay Johnson. Casey?
I agree.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson.
Okay. But I pick Freiermuth up, too, to compliment him.
No, for sure. I think the Bills, you got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I would agree. Yep. Gabriel Davis had a huge game in the postseason, but it wasn't that all year.
I mean, I think the Patriots, they're kind of the anomaly here. I mean, do you go Jacoby? Okay.
I just don't know if I'd sign up for any of the Patriots. I don't think people envy the Patriots receiving setup. Sure. You know what I mean?
Bengals, are you going Jamar Chase? Or are you going to throw 1A, 1B with T. Higgins?
I'd go with, see, they're what I think. Now, they've got a little bit of both.
Okay.
In my opinion. They got a bona fide 1, but they got a very good 2. They've got a tight end that had a big game. They can still run it with Mixon. I mean, the whole
they've
argument, got everything.
No, of course, but the whole argument here is: do they have a go-to receiver? Do they have a 1 receiver, or is it 1A or 1B?
I would put them kind of in the doubled up conversation.
So they're 1A, 1B.
Yeah,
Casey,
I agree with that.
Okay,
1A,
cool.
1B.
We'll go with that. Yep. Raiders.
I'd go 1A, 1B if you count Waller.
Okay.
Me too.
Tennessee, I'm just going 1A with A.J. Brown.
Yep.
Fair enough. They run.
Okay. Green Bay, you have to just go 1A with Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Yep.
San Fran, I get George Kittle, but I almost think it's the Deebo Samuel show.
Yeah, but see, I do agree with you, but Ayuk had some big plays, and he can do it,
But not the whole season. Ayuk wasn't even starting in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they're kind of a different animal, too, aren't they? I mean, they use Deebo sometimes more out of the backfield than running. I still think Kittle's such a draw, man. I think they're more of a compilation of people.
Casey?
I go Deebo.
Okay. Yeah, so the majority vote wins there. Tampa Bay, we kind of agreed 1A, 1B. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
L.A., well, it became the Cooper Kupp show, but before that.
Odell Beckham was awesome down the stretch.
Philadelphia. Devontae Smith.
I don't think anybody's envying what they have, even though they have bodies. I mean, yeah, Devontae Smith's the guy.
By default,
Casey?
They have nothing. Like he wasn't even that good. Like he could be. They just have nothing else. So I guess we'll go with that.
They've just missed because they tried Rager, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 more teams. Got the Cowboys.
Gosh, how many teams made the playoffs?
Cowboys
are a compilation, in my opinion. 1A, 1B.
And then the Cardinals. I think it proves the struggle that they had was because Hopkins was out. I think Hopkins still is the guy.
Yeah.
So we got 6 of the playoff teams that had the go-to guy, and the other teams had 1A, 1B, 1C.
Yeah, so you can do it both ways.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's kind of what we thought. Even going through some of the teams that didn't make the postseason, you kind of have that.
Yep.
You need more. You can't just have one.
Yeah.
But the one really makes everybody else better.
Correct.
What I would really be interested in is how much of those ones that we just mentioned we should have done at the same time are speed guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, even if you mix in the others, you always have a speed guy.
I mean, Hopkins, I don't consider him a speed guy. Adams is just good at everything, but I don't think he's necessarily like a burner.
I don't think
I mean, I think Adams is a great route runner. A.J. Brown's not necessarily a burner. He's just a physical, good route runner who, when he gets the ball,
Tyreek Hill
can make
is.
you miss. Tyreek Hill is. But once again, that's 1A, 1B.
Burner guy, is he?
No. So there you go. You don't really need the burner guy.
But you need speed somewhere.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. The Jags lack speed anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's maybe ETN really changes them around from that standpoint. But, man, the Jags need a lot. It's a very interesting thing how you would assemble this, because you do have a couple of ways to attack it. And I think a lot of that depends. Like, to really go back to the beginning of this conversation, Southbridge Gary asked about a position we got stuck on wide receivers. And if you take Devontae Adams, bona fide number one, off the board, $20+ million guy, right? That's a Hopkins, that's a Mike Thomas, that's those kind of guys. You take them off the board. If you take Godwin off the board because they franchise tag him, or because you don't want to pay that much because he's coming off injury, well, then Mike Williams is probably the only other guy there that might fit, that you could see him be that bona fide guy. And even he was part of a 1A, 1B, and probably the 1B because of Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
So now you're hoping he graduates into that 1A. But I guess what I'm saying is, if you don't get Mike Williams or feel that strongly you want to pay that about Mike Williams, then you better start going the 1A, 1B route and going to get the A-Robs of the world, or bring back the Charks and then go draft one and hope you draft right. And now all of a sudden you've blossomed into a good receiving core.
Yeah.
Because that's what else these teams have done, by the way. One of those guys on all the 1A, 1Bs is drafted, if not both of them.
Of course. And what we're seeing this year, I mean, and in the past couple of years, is, a rookie wide receiver can come and make a big difference right away.
True.
Go ask Miami about that.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We're live at UNF Arena. Ospreys play tonight against the Liberty. Meanwhile, softball team rocking and rolling off a 4-1 weekend. Baseball gets going this weekend here on campus. It's busy times at the University of North Florida.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Plenty of sun and milder temperatures this afternoon will reach the mid-60s. Partly cloudy, not as cool tonight, near 50. And a partly cloudy, mild Wednesday. A brief shower or two coming in off the Atlantic tomorrow, but we reach the low 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Compare. Shop Beard's Diamonds. Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't Safe Touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what Safe Touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And Safe Touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the Safe Touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the Safe Touch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the 2-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Action News Jack's First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It can be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school, or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
Tobacco-free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you up, I'm letting you never coming back to smoke. I'll never come back, coming back to smoke. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund Wine Tasting Gala is back. On Thursday, March 3rd, join Coach Coughlin on the scenic downtown riverfront for culinary delights from 35 of Jacksonville's best restaurants and taste hundreds of the world's most renowned wines. Have a fun night out and be there to help provide financial and emotional support for local families who are tackling childhood cancer. To buy tickets for this outdoor event, go to tcjfund.org/wine.
Elise and Carl needed a small business loan fast to order more equipment for their bakery. Elise suggested OnDeck.com, but instead, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Wait, no.
Look out! Bad Falcon, healed! Lone Falcon, why?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to apply in minutes and, if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As America's largest online small business lender, OnDeck has funded over $14 billion to businesses like yours, so you can borrow with confidence and get your loan fast. Go to OnDeck.com. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Great news from Rocket Mortgage. You could unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In fact, in the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. That means you could unlock thousands of dollars. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock all that cash in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up, because nobody knows how long these low rates will last. Put your hard-earned money to work. Make your life better. Build a home office, remodel your kitchen, or simply save that cash for a rainy day. Today's rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.25%, 3.48% APR, so you can lock in a great low monthly payment. When you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 833-8ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jax on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jax. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
It's definitely concentration. You know, I try to make a conscious effort of understanding, not just going up there shooting shots. You know, I always analyze myself earlier in my career when I was, when I scored, and, I used to shoot a lot, volume shooter. And I used to always wonder, why I had that label, how you get that label and how you can get away from that label. And that's just understanding, shot selection, what you work on, rhythm, and extreme concentration, out there. There's so much that go into play for me when I'm in those moments. Every shot that I take, it's a shot that I work on. I'm just not shooting a shot just to be shooting it. I just try to lock in every time it's time to score.
Andrew Wiggins?
Nope.
Jaffiel?
Also nope. DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, my gosh. I've been here all day. All day.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on, Brent. Don't have a lot of choices.
How about this tweet right here? The Super Bowl, this is like two different headlines. The Super Bowl drew 112 million viewers, the most in 5 years. Next headline, Super Bowl 56 posts lowest household rating since 1969. Viewership up.
Well, what does that mean? How does that work?
It's like the ratings were down, but the viewership's up.
Who's posting that one?
I don't know.
Well, come on, then.
It's like,
make
what
any
are we
sense.
doing here?
Yeah.
By the way, TV ratings and ratings have long been the spin game, okay?
Sure.
I mean, you can really make numbers do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a little bit part of it.
What do you think was the biggest meme of the Super Bowl? In terms of, last year was the Weeknd trying to find his way through the mirrors or whatever, if you guys remember. Was it Mary J. Blige falling? Just kind of taking a nap or whatever people were all about?
I'm not up on this.
Casey?
You guys are going to have to help me out here.
Not 100% sure. Yeah, I think it's more Burrow than any of that.
More Burrow than Mary J. Blige? Okay.
Burrow walking in?
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like I saw too many of those.
I saw a lot of Mary J. Blige ones.
You did?
Yeah. I saw a couple. I saw some
50 Cent hanging upside down.
That was a big one, too. That's a good call. That was a big one.
We got a good call on YouTube from multiple people. OBJ crying. That's fair. I've seen a ton of OBJ crying.
I saw a bunch of that as well, yes.
That was full-blown cry now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz, UNF Arena. Ospreys play tonight against Liberty on ESPN+. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. By the way, back at it Saturday. Big day on Saturday. Michigan State softball plays here against UNF, who's 4-1, and the Ospreys will play Florida Gulf Coast. Always pretty good rivalry game there. Hey, seriously, big news. I mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Out AEW. That's Tony Khan's outfit.
Looking like that.
Is this a game? Is this a heel play? Is this a heel turn? Is this part of the shtick?
Yeah.
Or did something go wrong? And by the way, one, how's it received so far?
Yeah.
And two, how big of a deal is it? That really, this was their big face.
Well,
is this a big blow?
It was definitely one of their big faces, and he was kind of the guy that got AEW off the ground.
Yes.
When the AEW first started a couple of years ago, he was the face of it, like you said, Brent. He was the guy that spearheaded this whole thing. He was the guy at Double or Nothing, their first pay-per-view in Las Vegas that I got to go to, where he kind of set a statement by smashing, the throne, which represented Triple H and WWE, and he smashed the throne and everything. So, I remember seeing that thinking, okay, well, Cody Rhodes is going to stay in AEW forever. He's going to be one of the biggest faces in AEW, and, just years and years of history will be made from that. His contract is up, and he kind of spoke his piece a little bit, and all the the media, wrestling experts are coming out and saying that no, this isn't really a work. This is the real deal. And AEW even kind of acknowledged it as well. So it's looking like that Cody Rhodes is going to be a free agent, and there's rumors speculating that he's going to return to WWE.
So, and by the way, Tony Khan has issued a statement. Cody Rhodes has issued a statement of thanks.
And keep in mind, too, he's also kind of like appointed his new ear, I guess, you'd say, to take his role over, because he was also behind the scenes doing stuff.
He was part of the organization.
Exactly,
yeah.
And now he left that job to somebody else as well, and he even kind of shouted them out and everything.
Okay, so he already he's kind of identified that person.
Correct.
That's going to help out Tony in terms of the organization viewpoint and help run it.
Yeah.
Run the show.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, is that a bad – AEW is rocking and rolling, feels like nipping on the heels and sometimes passing, sometimes better. Feels like the new wave entertainment wrestling icon. I'm not sure it's there yet, but it was the first thing that's really challenged WWE.
Yeah.
And you lose a guy like this – it was, by the way, it was WWE that was losing a lot of guys over in AEW, and Tony Khan would pick them up.
Yep. I'm
I'm just wondering how much of a loss is this? Did AEW just lose Jalen Ramsey and Yannick Ngakoue?
So, it's a huge loss. I've talked to some of my friends, a couple people who actually cover it a little bit, and people are just diehard fans, and they're all kind of shocked by it, and they're a little disappointed, because – he was kind of the pioneer that started AEW, and I think, from his standpoint, first of all, he has a family, married, has a baby girl, so if it's financial things, well, then WWE is going to throw the book at him. If he chooses to sign with WWE, and you're essentially going to the place that you may be knocked in the beginning of your career at AEW, well, then they're going to throw the book at you. I think from WWE's standpoint, it'd be a smart move because now you're saying, oh, look at this. We took one of the AEW guys, and now we're going to make him even a bigger star in WWE. So there's definitely some gamesmanship going on there. Another possible route that I don't really see Cody taking is he can just run up the independents and win all the belts. This is a guy by the name of Matt Cardona has done this. So this guy, Matt Cardona, chose to be like an independent free agent guy, and he just goes from promotion to promotion, the smaller ones, and wins the belt. And he's considered like one of the best wrestlers right now. I think Cody's far past that in terms of his career. I think Cody's looking for the big paycheck, and I think the big paycheck might come in the form of WWE. The other tinfoil hat conspiracy that's going around in at least my groups, I talk to my friends that are diehard wrestling fans. So ironically, about a month ago, Shane McMahon was fired. They didn't give a reason from WWE. This is Vince McMahon's son. Mm-hmm. Now, once again, what was that a work? Was that actually a real thing? Well, people have said that's actually a real thing. For whatever reason, they didn't give any reason like why, but Shane McMahon was let go of WWE. So there's two theories here. The first theory is, well, then Shane McMahon's coming to AEW, Cody Rhodes is going to WWE, and there's going to be some kind of like trade-off program. Like they're going to kind of coerce a little bit and actually work together. That's one theory. The other theory is the fact that AEW is going to sign Shane McMahon out of spite and then try to make him a star to kind of show his dad what's up. Yeah. So once again, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of fun in the chat rooms and everything like that. But that's two possibilities.
That's pretty wild. Imagine if like the NFL worked that way.
Yeah.
So we really
sometimes
didn't know
I feel like it does.
We really didn't know if the Jalen Ramsey
Have
stuff
you seen
was
the Kyler
real.
Murray stuff?
Yeah, that's
Have you
true.
seen the Kyler Murray
I guess
stuff?
it does work like that
it
a
does
little bit.
a little bit sometimes.
Maybe
yeah.
Shad Khan flew this all. He's really not getting an EVP or anything else for Trent Balkey. Balkey's staying, but he gave us everything we wanted to hear for a minute.
For sure.
So, I mean, it is kind of a wild world, but it's a big world, that wrestling world, and I found that pretty interesting today, that what does it mean if it's not a work?
Yeah.
And if it is real, that you lose really the guy. It's the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And keep in mind, Cody Rhodes left WWE because he never felt like he was a main eventer. They always kind of had him in the undercard. He goes to AEW, becomes a bigger star, wrestles in New Japan, becomes even a bigger star. Now he's a household name. Now he's a brand. Everybody knows who he is. If he goes back to WWE, well, he's going to be a main eventer then.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you that, actually. So him coming to AEW has raised his profile.
Oh, without a doubt.
Big
time. I mean, he's got the show on TBS, I believe. He's got a couple of things going on with the brand.
Well, and by the way, so at least in Tony's back pocket, he can say to the next guy, hey, you want to go raise your profile?
True.
Here's where you go.
Yep.
Right? So
Absolutely.
they prove that can work.
Yep.
And so that will be good to be able to get a replacement. It's going to be a sought-after replacement.
Yes.
If that's the whole deal.
And if they truly do lose him, it's going to be a huge blow. But obviously, they still have a guy like Kenny Omega, who also kind of helps run behind the scenes a little bit. He's been out of action for a while. He's probably coming back pretty soon as well.
Let me ask you this real quick before we end up on this. How long until we find out if it's real deal? How in the wrestling world that can take a while.
It can take a while, but the way that it was left, so usually if somebody gets fired, for instance, well, then there's a 90-day clause where you can't work for anybody else.
Yeah,
so that takes this isn't the case. I mean, Cody's contract is up, so he can go wherever he wants. So, let's say he does sign WWE. They could announce him as early as tomorrow or the next day. Keep in mind, WrestleMania is coming up. I assume if he goes the WWE route, they want to get him WrestleMania. It's the biggest event of the year for them, obviously. So if it's WWE, I think we hear about it in the next couple of weeks.
Wow. So WrestleMania is in the next month?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I have to look up the exact date of it. But.
So yeah,
because
that makes sense. Right around the players.
yeah.
Yes, our most viewed show ever. When WrestleMania got canceled.
Yep.
That's not happening this time around. All right, there's your wrestling talk. That at least allows for a little bit more golf talk tomorrow.
Let's go.
I mean, that was like a whole segment, Casey.
Hey, it's big news. It's trending, Brent.
I mean, Casey, go in the weeds. Is it trending? Really? It's Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes is trending. Yeah.
See, that's why we talk about the trendy things here, folks. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Be interested to follow that, and if it derails what Tony Khan has done, and the growth and the rapid rise of AEW, or does it lead to something else that even helps a bit more? Well, you will find out. Brent Martin, Austin Lane at UNF Arena on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Your expectations when a guy gets picked number one overall, what are they, and how hard is it to live up to those expectations. We got one of those guys in Trevor Lawrence right here in town. We'll be back at topic when we come back on ESPN 690.
Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't safe touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what safe touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And safe touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the safe touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the safe touch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the two-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
Your First Coast Accurate dealers are making it easier to buy than ever with 2.9% APR. Cash in on thousands in savings and 2.9% APR on the all-new 3-row 2022 Acura MDX SUV. FirstCoastAccurateDealers.com. Offer exclusive type S edition.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
It's where I take my family to play golf, and you can take yours as well. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY, 287-PLAY. Play some golf, or maybe practice some golf at one of the newest facilities in the area. Grab some lunch or dinner, too. Southampton has it all. 287-PLAY for tee times and more. The Golf Club at Southampton, the home of the Dream 18. My home course. Make it your home course, too.
Are you getting engaged, celebrating an anniversary, or birthday? You're in luck.
It's Beard's Diamond's most exceptional finance offer of the year.
5 years, 0% financing with nothing down.
Yes, shop Beard's Diamond's everyday low price on anything in the store or beardsdiamonds.com.
Then divide your total price by 60, and that's your monthly payment with absolutely nothing down.
How about a $6,000 3-stone designer setting?
You pay only $100 a month.
Or a $4,500 1-carat diamond solitaire pendant necklace.
You pay just $75 a month.
And every purchase at Beard's Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime warranty.
Now you can go bigger and get her the diamond ring she's always dreamed about.
And spread your payments out for 5 years and pay absolutely nothing in interest.
But hurry, Beard's Diamond's incredible 5 years interest-free financing with nothing down is available for a limited time only.
Shop now at beardsdiamonds.com or at the St. John's Town Center.
Get the lowest prices on diamonds in Jacksonville, guaranteed, at Beard's Diamonds.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, would say,
if it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV.
You can't be all work and not play.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Everyone loves shopping online. Well, I'm going to tell you what I tell my golf buddies when they buy clubs. Stop searching for coupon codes. Download Capital One Shopping to your computer. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. Plus, it's free, and you don't even need a Capital One card to use it. That's like hitting a hole-in-one without even trying. Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Savings and available coupons vary.
Join ESPN 690 on March 5th for the Gate River Run. Registration for the 15K, 5K for charity, Junior River Run, and the Brooks Rehabilitation Mile Challenge is now open at GateRiverRun.com. Training information is available on the website. See you at the starting line. It's time for everyone's favorite segment on Action Sports Jax, Hockey Talk, where Brent Martineau guesses a random hockey soundbite. Now here's your host, Casey Kurtz. Oh, you thought it was gone? You thought it was over just because we lost a couple weeks?
I hope we're going to the Olympics.
I missed this.
Not a chance. Are they playing hockey at the Olympics?
Are they?
Hey, USA's playing hockey.
On?
Why don't you ask Canada how it's going for them?
Ooh, I like that. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're back with another edition. I bumped my own segment that you teased before the break, but it was a segment that I came up with, so I'm not too mad about it. I'm bumping myself for other things I'm doing.
What you got to do? Requests.
Hey, it's okay. All good. So anyway, here's the situation, Brent. You know the deal. Sound coming at you. Your hints are he plays hockey. They gave him a stick and gloves and everything, and that's the only hint you're going to get. So
the whole ensemble, Brent.
He played hockey last night. Once again, stick, ice, skates, all the whole thing. So played last night. That's your only hint. You'll hear the sound, talk it out, do what you got to do, but here's the sound.
What is 400 points for your career?
Obviously, it's a pretty cool achievement. Obviously, got to thank my parents and a lot of people around me. Without them, this isn't possible. So, it's a moment I can get to share with them, and got the puck and stick and stuff like that. So, be able to give to my parents and stuff like that to enjoy, and it's just a cool moment. Got to thank a lot of those guys in that locker room as well. Without them, that's not possible. So, it's a cool achievement. Hopefully, we get some more accolades this year.
I got an idea. I think I know who it is. Let's see if you can get there.
I've never heard of this guy.
Well, he sounds like he's French-Canadian, so he's got a little bit of an accent. I think he plays for the Oilers. Casey, who's right?
He plays for one of those teams. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Oilers. Oilers beat the Sharks last night.
Sure
3-0.
Yep.
But who'd the Maple Leafs play, though?
Maple Leafs played the Kraken.
Yeah, he definitely plays on one of those two establishments.
Casey's leaning us towards Toronto. If that's the case, then
it was a milestone.
Well, then, I mean,
I think the question was something about his 400th point.
So then we're going top players, facilitator, or a goal scorer. Nevertheless, I think Austin Matthews is pretty good. I think that's a safe bet. I was leaning towards Connor McDavid myself.
No, it's too young. Because the milestone, I'm pretty sure I caught that in the question, right? They get a milestone.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why
that might have been in there.
He thanked his parents, gave her the puck.
So how many? What was the milestone, though?
I think they said it. I think
400 points.
Did you ever think you'd get 400 points or something like that?
Then I would lean towards Austin Matthews. Because I think I don't
definitely
know.
not McDavid.
He's young.
David.
Austin Matthews is young though, but he's good. But isn't Austin Matthews American?
I would like
that accent.
I would like to phone another.
Hold on now.
Give me some other name on Toronto.
Well, what do you mean? Give you some other name?
Well, I'm asking Austin. We're trying to figure this thing out. I'm saying it's not Austin Matthews.
That is the correct answer. It's not Austin Matthews.
And it's not Connor McDavid.
It is not Connor McDavid.
Okay.
Older guy. Got him 400 points.
Well,
I don't think he's that old.
Do you consider 24 old?
That's
And he's already got 400 points?
Yeah, he's kind of a monster, bro.
Is he? Oh, he's the captain for Toronto. Right? Because Matthews wears the A. If I'm not mistaken.
Assistant captain.
Yeah.
Or something else.
He does have something on his jersey. What is it? Who knows?
Okay, so he's an assistant captain or a captain. I got to cheat now because I forgot the captain's name. It's the captain. Brent, you got anything?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to cheat to look this one up because I forgot the guy's name.
probably just got to click on this score.
I'm embarrassed.
6-2. Mitch Marner.
Oh, wait a
Mitch
minute.
Marner.
Mitch Marner? The redemption.
He's 24 and he has 400 points already?
Yeah, he's pretty disgusting. He's really good.
That's incredible. Hey,
Is he the captain real quick? Oh, I was thinking of John Tavares. I'm way out of my element.
Hey,
Sorry.
is scoring up in the NHL? Because every time we do this, I look at the scores. Like, that's what I go to. I'm like, okay, who's he going to pick from? Hopefully it was the night before. And, like, the Wild beat the Red Wings, 7-4.
Yeah, that's fine.
6 goals for the Maple Leafs. The other day we did this, it was like an 8-goal game. Is scoring up, or is this the way it's been?
Ooh.
I mean, the players are better than they ever have been, except the goalies aren't.
Well, but I mean, what I'm asking is, like, there's been a decade or longer of loosening the rules to make more scoring. Anyway,
of course,
right?
I mean,
so,
they've extended the goal.
Worth,
they've made the pad smaller. Well, and now what you're seeing too with a lot of NHL teams is there's like a rotation of goalies. You know, like
you're not sticking one guy out there.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
60 games,
I mean, in the past, when you have like guys like Patrick Waugh, Dominik Hasek, they're playing the entire season.
Absolutely.
You don't see that much anymore.
That's what I'm saying. The goalies aren't elite anymore.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting what you just said, and I'm not discounting it because I think you're probably right because every sport you can argue is like this. But so would you say hockey has more good players than it's ever had at one time?
I think younger players for sure. And now, like
rising stars.
Oh, there's definitely I mean, the next generation is going to be, I think, legit. And you still have the older players like Ovechkin is on pace to break Gretzky's record pretty soon in terms of goals scored.
Yeah.
It's a lot like quarterbacks to me in the NFL, where like you can point to almost every team and say they have a good young quarterback. You can do the same thing in the NHL. And the teams that you can point to and say, hey, they don't have a good young scorer, they're probably pretty bad.
That's pretty wild to me. You know, again, I'm not. I don't pay a lot of attention to hockey. That's why we have this segment. And it really might just be because of where we're at from an NHL level. And I know you're a Lightning fan, so you pay attention to it, and the Lightning have been really good. And you're a Red Wings fan. You come from hockey country, and you're a hockey guy anyway. Mm-hmm. But it surprised me a little bit that the talent is that rich because I just have seen, like, the decline of hockey since I was a kid in terms of where it sits in America's culture, right, or in our society. But I'm probably wrong because of where I live, or especially the last 15 years. But if you go to the other hockey hotbeds, like, I mean, I know people up in Rhode Island where I'm from that still play hockey, like, and are really into it. They're probably better than they've ever been. They probably have better coaching than they've ever had. All those things that I would say about baseball down here, you know. But I just don't live in that world and watch it. Like, I say this about the NBA. Like, the NBA has more stars, I think, than it's ever had, like, ever at one time. Mm-hmm. You don't need just those top-heavy stars because there's 2 or 3 guys now on every team that are, like, really good. And you just said about quarterbacks. We have this conversation. Is the quarterback depth the best it's ever been? And I think the answer to that is yes, I really do. So hockey is following suit. It just, you don't feel it, to be quite honest.
So I think that's just kind of, you know, that's the way it is in our country, though. You know, I mean, you have Austin Matthews, you have T.J. Oshie, you have Joe Pavelski. I mean, in terms of Americans and everything.
Americans. Yeah.
But then, like, you know, when you have the Canadians and the Europeans, I mean, there's some really big stars coming from Canada, obviously, as they should, and then also from Europe as well. So, like, I mean, the USA is represented pretty well. But globally, I mean, there's a lot of stars out there.
And by the way, like, in years, like, listen, Gretzky was always considered, it didn't matter he came from Canada. Mm-hmm. You know, I just think in terms of the sport, you don't feel the star power here in the States. Now, in Canada, it's probably still as big as it's ever been.
Yeah.
But, football at 5, we'll get back to that when we come back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. We'll get to your number 1 overall pick question when we come back.
Quitting nicotine isn't easy, which is why Tobacco-Free Florida offers free tools and services like free 2-week starter kits of Quit Aids. We're also trying out music to help motivate smokers to quit.
Not another cigarette would be late. Now there's someone living tobacco-free. It's you.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Join the movement to end colon cancer. The annual March to Get Screened 5K is coming up on March 27th. All proceeds benefit the nonprofit Portland Groover Foundation to advance colon cancer research, provide free screenings, and financial assistance. Colon cancer is actually preventable with regular colon screenings. Hundreds of lives have been saved due to the support of our community and the March to Get Screened 5K. Bring the family and join us in downtown Jacksonville on March 27th. To register, donate, or for more information, go to marchtogetScreened.com. Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't safe touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what safe touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And safe touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the safe touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the safe touch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the two-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
I'm Marcus Roberts, a jazz pianist and a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB prepares students for a lifetime of success, allowing them to do more, be more, and achieve more. For more information, call 800-342-3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Today, both Ben Simmons and James Harden spoke publicly for the first time since last week's blockbuster trade where Simmons went to Brooklyn and Harden to Philadelphia. Simmons explained his trade request was over a culmination of things that happened. It wasn't about money or basketball or the coaches. He says he's now in a good place physically and is getting there mentally. Simmons isn't sure when he'll make his season and Nets debut, but he's excited about the potential in Brooklyn.
I think it's going to be scary. Having those guys running alongside me. There's multiple different weapons on the floor, and I think at the pace we want to play at, it's going to be unreal.
That's point guard Ben Simmons. At Harden's introductory press conference, he wouldn't give details into what happened with the Nets, but said Philadelphia was his first choice last season when he asked for a trade from Houston. Brooklyn and Philly next meet on March 10th, and Simmons is hoping to play in that game. Quarterbacks Aaron Rodgers of the Packers and Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, the betting co-favorites to win the 2022 NFL MVP at plus 700 by Caesars Sportsbook. Next, Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
The Rams scored a touchdown on 9th down. That's why the whole thing felt a tad anticlimactic, and it just didn't feel right. That's why I don't believe it goes down with the greatest drives of all time. The John Taylor touchdown broke the Bengals' hearts, and that one in the final minute at the end of the '88 season, that Montana drives them right down the field. There weren't like 3 penalties that sort of, changed the dynamic of everything.
I agree with Mike Greenberg there. It's interesting to hear him say it. He said it better than the way I said it yesterday. It's probably why he's a national guy. But I kind of felt it too, and maybe that was it. Maybe it was the penalties that kind of sucked the life out of everything. I thought the speed of the game was just a clock rolling, kind of contributed in my mind. We didn't hit on this too much, but I I agree with there are two things that people were saying. You said Collinsworth was like OBJ, right? I think you brought that up.
Yeah.
And Collinsworth also was like, that's the greatest drive ever. I was like, what are you talking about? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, in real time, no, it was not.
Yeah.
And it was a good drive, and it was a big drive. But it nowhere in anybody's mind did it register like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking like PFF grades for commentators, Collinsworth's coming in around a 60 or 70. I tell you.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear him go all in like that.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. And I also I said this about he brought up the Odell Beckham Jr. stuff, as you mentioned yesterday, so much.
Oh, so much, Brent.
Right? And all I kept thinking, Austin, is like, wait a minute. This is like a super team. They have Cooper Kupp. They have, on the other side, they have Aaron Donald. They've got Ramsey. They got Matthew Stafford. They got Cam Akers. They've got you name it. I mean, they had some injuries, but it's like this wasn't the Bills losing Stephon Diggs.
No, but he even said, Stafford's out of weapons now. And I go, Chris, excuse me. They have the best wide receiver in the game right now. So what are you talking about? They're out of weapons. They have the best weapon. They have the only weapon, Cooper Kupp.
I mean, you talk hyperbole at its.
But, I get it. You're trying to see, to me, though.
I don't mind Collinsworth, by the way. I really don't. I think he's good.
I've never had a complaint of him until that Super Bowl. I just I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to build the game and make it more big than it really is.
You don't need to.
But you don't need to. It's a Super Bowl. Thank
you. You don't.
Yeah.
It's like, and by the way, and I know because this is the way this business works, but like NBC, guess what? We all know that the Super Bowl's on NBC and the Olympics are on NBC. Like, you don't even have to advertise it.
But it's
okay to not tell us that 100 million times. Like, we know. You know why? Because we're going to find those two events.
But, I get the feeling, if the Rams lost that game and then NFL Films, plays it back and everything, and it's, the sounds on the field and the coaches and the commentators, you're going to hear Collins and it's a devastating loss for Los Angeles Rams.
He's playing right
Odell Beckham Jr. is devastated he can't be out there. Well, no kidding. It's the biggest game of his career. I'm sure if he had the choice, he'd want to be out there.
I don't like the hyperbole. I get it sometimes. I just don't like – I think it was a little unnecessary on both fronts, the OBJ one and again, you're talking about a Rams team. This wasn't the Bengals losing Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
They weren't as loaded. I mean, that Rams team is loaded. They're supposed to be here. They're the favorites. If they lose someone, all that does is, it kind of evens the playing field maybe.
Yep. Well, and listen, I don't want to talk too much smack because we're at UNF right now, and obviously people remember my call from last year in the baseball game.
True.
So in terms of hyping things up, I'm the last person to be critical of that because if they will have me back, Brent, I'm looking forward to this up-and-coming baseball season of really talking some trash and overblowing every single home run they see.
Well, that's fair enough, and they will have you back for that. They appreciated that.
Good.
Casey asked this question, and I'm going to let you say it, Casey. Football at 5, Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz. We are live at UNF Arena. Ospreys play Liberty tonight in A-Sun play as the season starts to wind down over the next couple of weeks. A-Sun tournament on the horizon. Liberty very good. Ospreys looking to upset Liberty here tonight. 7 o'clock game on ESPN+, but come on over and really watch, the best team right now in the A-Sun and one of the most feisty teams in the A-Sun in the Ospreys. Darius McGee, a heck of a player, too, for the Flames. So it's a good game to watch tonight, 7 o'clock. Casey, go ahead. Set it up. Here's your idea. We're going to get to it after you threw the hockey at me.
All right. It's not, you made it sound, you kind of made it feel like the Super Bowl a little bit, like a lot of build-up, and it's just going to be this. If you're the number one overall
pick. That's my best Chris Collins.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You did good. If you're the number one overall pick in any sport, what is an acceptable career to have to live up to the hype of being the number one overall pick? Because obviously you're not going to be the greatest player of all time because that's only one person per sport. So what is an acceptable when you look back on it? Like, did they do it? It's just a question I have. What is considered acceptable?
So we're going sport by sport here.
Yeah, and I think abroad, I think he's – what Casey's saying is kind of a blanket view. If you're the number one pick in the NBA, now it might change, so that might be part of your conversation. But number one pick in football, baseball, hockey and NBA, and I guess we'd stop there. But what are the expectations of that guy? What's he supposed to do? What have we seen? Here in town, Trevor Lawrence, the number one overall pick. What's he supposed to do to say that guy delivered, right? Peyton Manning is the comp. Peyton Manning was a number one pick. Peyton Manning built Indianapolis. Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl in Indianapolis. He made them relevant every year in Indianapolis. He built a new stadium in Indianapolis. Like, that's kind of the guy. Now, there are other examples of number one picks, and it doesn't always have to be a quarterback. But that's what we're working with. And does Trevor have to do all that to live up to the hype of being the number one overall pick?
So it's wild because, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last number one overall pick to win a Super Bowl is Eli Manning.
No, now it's Matthew Stafford.
Oh, good call. Yeah, different different team,
yeah.
But yeah. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. So Matthew Stafford, okay, yeah. So my argument just folded on itself. But I think expectation-wise, Brent, I mean, you're talking about at least getting to the show. I mean, I think like, if you're a quarterback, like, I think you're brought in here to eventually will your team to the big show.
Look, and it's interesting, right? Because I think, Casey, and I want you to jump in on this conversation, you could say, okay, my expectation is that guy to be a Hall of Famer. Well, Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. I'm not sure he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. He is a Hall of Famer, right? So, again, I'm just giving you two direct examples over the last 20 years.
Eli Manning's going to be a Hall of Famer, would you say?
Debatable,
yeah.
But he won two.
Yeah.
Right? And actually had to get traded to go to help that team.
That's true, too.
That was an interesting part of it. But here's what I would say, Casey, because I think your question is really good overall in general. Like, see, Taven Bryan gets a lot of crap. Taven Bryan hasn't been very good.
Okay.
But Taven Bryan was the 28th overall pick. If you screw up the 28th overall pick, it's a lot different than screwing up the 3rd overall pick, the 2nd overall pick, the 6th overall pick, a top 10 pick. It really is. Like, we always talk about it with your buddy, Tyson Alualu.
Sure.
Really good player.
Yeah.
Really good player. Like, if Taven Bryan had the career of Tyson Alualu, it would be a hell of a pick in the late first round. You're not looking for a perennial Pro Bowler, perennial All-Pro. You're looking for a guy who's going to have a decade career, a 12-year career. He's going to be a very solid player for you. He can make some impact. Well, that's what Tyson Alualu delivered. Tyson Alualu probably didn't deliver the 10th overall pick kind of expectations, in part because everybody thought they reached for him anyway, so it came with a different set of expectations, in part because it was in the Tebow draft as well. So he had a lot of other stuff going against him anyway. But as you look back, look at all the mess-ups the Jags have had as picks. Tyson Alualu really probably is one of the best in the top 10.
No, exactly. But to me, it's a huge difference between a defensive tackle and a quarterback.
True.
Because we never really say a defensive tackle unless his name's Aaron Donald. He's going to lead us to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, you don't speak that way of a defensive tackle. You don't speak that way really of anybody on defense. You speak that way about a quarterback. So I think when you talk about the number one overall pick and probably the most important position of all professional sports, I think expectations are extremely high. I think Pro Bowls have to happen. I think in a couple All-Pro nods, they have to happen. But most importantly, I think that run to the Super Bowl is expected as well.
And I would say this, and Casey, I know you're going to jump in, but I think it's about relevance, especially here in Jacksonville. Like, if you're taking a number one pick, you're usually not that good. And so what Peyton Manning did when I was a kid, Indianapolis sucked. And they were bad. Like, they were 3-13 every year. Like, if you give me a record that I remember the Colts, it was 3-13, like all the time. And then he made them relevant. So I'm not sure you could, Trevor has a chance because of the situation we're in Jacksonville where the city might start to grow. The stadium's on the horizon over the next 5 or 10 years. Like, he could actually help all that stuff like Peyton did, and that's why the comp to him. But I agree. Like, I think it's making you relevant, like, all the time in this news cycle in this NFL. Like, people want to talk about Trevor and the Jags because you're in the mix. And then if you're in the mix every year, you should have a chance at some point to go get a Lombardi trophy. And that's ultimately what I think will measure the extreme success of Trevor on as a number one selection.
Well, and it's too bad because Joe Burrow kind of showed us the blueprint now. So, like, now all my expectations are going to be, all right, Trevor, you got to be the next Joe Burrow right now.
Yeah.
But you don't have Jamar
But Joe
Chase.
Burrow might never win one. But he might flip that organization.
But he still went.
Yeah.
He still went, and you can't take that away from him. Yeah, he might flip the organization as well. But, you don't have Jamar Chase. You don't have T. Higgins. Do you even have a Mixon right now? It's hard to say. So, yeah, there's a long ways to go, but Burrow and Mahomes and those guys like that, they've made the expectation now.
Yeah, but to your point, like Andy Dalton, right?
Okay.
Had them going to the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
But they were still irrelevant. Joe Burrow didn't even have him in the playoffs yet, and Cincinnati was relevant. See, I think that's the kind of guy what a number one pick can do, especially in this day and age of the NFL. And so there's the difference. Like, it wasn't like Cincinnati was that awful all those years. They actually were in the playoffs, floating around. They won enough games, but nobody cared about them. They were irrelevant.
Yeah.
But Joe, in the last 2 seasons alone, has made that a relevant franchise. I think that's – and by the way, getting to the Super Bowl, I'm not discounting that. But I think that's what we're asking Trevor to do is make this team relevant, which means you're pretty good and you're going to threaten each and every year.
But to me, it's obvious that Joe Burrow didn't reach the stratosphere of us talking about his swag and everything until he started winning. Because Joe Burrow did play some games his rookie year, and, yeah, it was still big in terms of the performance and the numbers, but I don't think people were celebrating Joe Burrow like we do now.
Casey, what are your expectations of that number one overall guy since you asked the question?
Yeah, I can tell you the question where it came from was I thought in 2016, I believe it came from baseball, obviously. That's kind of where everything – so it was 2016. When Ken Griffey got inducted in the Hall of Fame, he was the only baseball player picked number one overall to be a Hall of Famer. And I thought that was super weird because, like, you're the number one overall pick. That's expected. There's now 3, Chipper Jones and Harold Baines, if you count that. But so that's where the question came from. So then when you take it to the quarterback position, I'm looking at recent number one overall picks. Was Alex Smith worthy of the first overall pick now that you look back on it? Like, they were good. He was okay.
Yeah.
3-time Pro Bowler. I don't know. Now, to your point you just made, with relevance, Michael Vick was the number one overall pick. They didn't win anything, but they were super relevant. So was that worthy enough of the number one overall pick? Like, it's just such a interesting thing because obviously it's easy to go back and say, well, you should have picked this person, but like Alex Smith, Michael Vick, Carson Palmer's another one. Like, there's just guys that are right on the edge. It's like they were really good, and who knows what they would have been without them, but could it have gone a different way, you know?
I would say this. Here's the thing, okay? I like your Alex Smith one. That, to me, is really fascinating because he was considered a bust for a long time. Now, he had 7 coordinators in his first 7 years.
Yeah.
Then he did have some good years now in San Fran, but he still wasn't like, man, that was the number one pick. He's everybody's always trying to upgrade,
him a game
right?
manager. Yeah.
And then he goes to Kansas City, and he's like an MVP before Mahomes comes in and takes over, and then he's traded. Then he's got the injury, which adds to, I think, his lore a little bit because he overcame that nice story. And he almost became like this guy that was targeted by the media to almost a media darling by the end of his career, which is really a weird track to take given a lot of circumstances. But you just said, I think you said 3-time Pro Bowler for Alex Smith.
Yeah.
He ends up playing 14 years, plays 174 games, and his record's 99-67. Like, hey, over the next 14 years, if Trevor wins 99 games, like, are you happy with that?
So if Trevor
99-67?
I mean, you got to throw in, well, how many divisions did you win? How many playoff appearances did you have? I mean, I think that all goes into it as well.
Yeah. I just feel like that'd be pretty damn good.
Yeah, Blake Bortles had a hell of a run back in 17.
Yeah, one year out of 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you go 99-67, that's more than 1 in 5.
Okay, but like, did you have per year record of Alex Smith, like how well he did?
Yeah, he started off, he was 2-5. You got like 7 starts. And then he was 7-9, 2-5 again. 08 he missed. So then now he goes on this run, right? Yeah, he didn't even fully play the whole 14 years. 5-5, 3-7, 13-3, 6-2, 11-4, 8-7, 11-5, 11-4, 9-6, 6-4.
Okay.
So he really goes. It took him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why people were like, okay, this guy's a bust, right? It took him 5-6 years to get going, and then in his final 2 years before getting traded from San Francisco, he goes that 13-3 year. Very good, obviously. He goes to Super Bowl, 6-2-1. Then he gets traded to Kansas City, where he wins a lot of football.
But he went to Super Bowl because of Kaepernick, though. Because that was the Kaepernick year, right?
I'm sorry. Yes, they went that Kaepernick year.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, But he won games, right? And he won games, and I would just say, in many respects, Alex Smith's career, where he didn't win the big one, and he wasn't the guy win the big one, I think you'd like Trevor to be that guy, but to be able to have gone a run where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a row, he's got a winning record. Yeah. Like, to be honest with you, in Jacksonville, like, that would be a big deal. Like, if he can do that for an 8-year run
Yeah.
and have a winning record in Jacksonville, like, that is a huge deal. So I don't want to put the expectations so high because I think you got to do it relative to this town, this city, this franchise. And quite frankly, it's not going to take much for Trevor Lawrence to be the best quarterback of all time in franchise history. He doesn't need to win a Super Bowl to do that, but he will need to knock on the door of a Super Bowl because Brunell did that.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, even Blake Bortles did that. And
Yeah.
Bortles isn't even close to considered the best quarterback in franchise history.
Yeah.
And he did it. So what people will say is, hey, Trevor did this. He won the most games. He passed the most yards. He broke the touchdown records. He was great, all this stuff. But Blake Bortles went to the AFC Championship game and Trevor Lawrence didn't.
Yeah.
Like, he can't have that. He's got to be able to – he's got to say he went to the Super Bowl probably to really cement him in Jacksonville.
Yeah, for sure. And that could be a pretty steep mountain to climb. I would settle for Andrew Luck. And again, it's a smaller sample size, and you want Trevor Lawrence to play longer than Andrew Luck did. But if you look at Andrew Luck, what he's able to do, 11-5, 11-5, 11-5. Then he went 2-5, got hurt, 8-7, and 10-6. I'm good with that. Now Luck didn't go to a Super Bowl. They knocked on it a couple times possibly, but they didn't go. But, the record speaks for itself. Winning division speaks for itself. The Pro Bowls speak for itself. So if you can give me Andrew Luck numbers, who is kind of the comparison people want to throw out when Trevor Lawrence is coming out, I'm cool with that.
So there really are varying levels here. You can get the Andrew Luck where you don't win the Super Bowl or build the town, but you could get to the level of Peyton Manning where you win a Super Bowl or two and build the town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is what Tom Brady did also in New England and others have done. So it's a fascinating question. It's really a good question of where. And by the way, I would piggyback it by this, Casey. I think baseball's really different because you draft that guy number one, he might not play for you in the big leagues for 5 more years.
Yeah, for sure. I just thought it was the whole thing this came from was when Ken Griffey got in, I was like, how is he the only one?
Yeah. Well,
like, what
again,
a disaster.
But again, if you to your point on that stat, number one draft picks winning Super Bowls is not a common thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as quarterbacks.
Yeah,
it's not a common thing.
Casey, what do you think about the NBA and hockey real quick? I mean, the NBA, it's kind of whatever,
Give
right?
me the last 5 number one picks in the NBA.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah, I think, it's weird in hockey because I think hockey's very relatable to football in terms, like we did it in the last segment, but if you, McDavid hasn't won anything, and he's going to probably have the best, when his career's done, he's going to have maybe better stats than Gretzky, but if he doesn't win anything, then that's a failure. Like, it has to be a failure, and it's just...
Especially there.
Yeah, I think it correlates very well to the
So
quarterback.
I'm going to say it like this, Casey. I think with hockey, because keep in mind, it could be a defenseman, it could be a goalie, it could be a forward center, so it's hard to tell. I think, because keep in mind, they play in Europe maybe a couple years, too, before they actually come to the league. If they're not rocking at least an A or a C in their 4th or 5th year, then to me it's a loss. To me it's more about where do you fit in on the team and what does the team think of you? Because not every first round pick's the next Wayne Gretzky. I'm not naive to thinking that, but every first round pick should have some sort of influence on that team.
I like that, and that's fair. But I think in terms of defensemen, so the last defenseman that. I'm not going to take Rasmus Dahlin, but Eric Ekblad from the Panthers, right? He's a very good defender, but if they never win, we're not going to be like, oh, it's because of Aaron Ekblad. If the Maple Leafs don't win, we're going to be like, what is Matthews doing? What is McDavid doing? McKinnon, it's the same thing. So I just think you can relate it very well to the quarterback position where if they don't win, then that's a failure.
And Brent, to answer your question, the last 5 NBA picks at number 1, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Zion Williamson, DeAndre Ayton, Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons. That was 6, sorry. But, yeah, Ben Simmons.
Okay, so none of those guys have changed their team.
No, I mean, Simmons did for a bit, and then now he's where he's at now.
And I'll even go further. Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Bennett, Anthony Davis. Okay, Anthony Davis. You got to go back to Anthony Davis?
Yeah, but he didn't – I mean, yeah, you changed the Hornets in terms of you were competitive, but you didn't come close to winning a title.
No, and it kind of moved quick. He could have. They could have built around him there.
Yeah.
But he did make them relevant.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They changed, they were irrelevant.
Yeah.
And he made them relevant. Before that, Kyrie Irving, by the way,
made a change.
The Cavs,
Yeah.
that
Helped
definitely helped, right?
Mm-hmm.
John Wall, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose is probably the guy I would say out of that entire group.
You go all the way back to Dwight Howard, and then you got 2003's LeBron James.
Yeah.
So.
What about Blake Griffin? Like, were the Clippers anything before Blake Griffin?
No, I mean, Blake Griffin, from obviously the dunk contest, helped him in his style of play.
He helped turn them around. They became more relevant.
Yeah.
So was that enough? You know what I mean?
I think, and there again, I mean, to be honest with you guys, they're not that far off from where Jacksonville is right now. Jacksonville's going to be relevant on the national landscape of the NFL.
Yeah.
And so to bring them up like 5 rungs up the ladder is pretty significant for one player to do.
True.
And so that's why I'm not sure the Super Bowl championships are what will measure Trevor. But he can do a whole hell of a lot in the next 10, 12 years, even without winning a Super Bowl. Super Bowl would be great, too, though.
Yeah.
That changes everything.
But let's be fair, the expectations from a number 1 pick in the NBA compared to a number 1 pick overall in the NFL who's a quarterback are a lot different. Oh, yeah. I mean, like when Anthony Bennett was drafted, I don't think anybody expected Anthony Bennett to lead the Cleveland Cavaliers to a championship.
No. Still looking up who he is.
He's from Canada.
But different. LeBron James had quarterback kind of expectations.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in Captain Rick Rouse right now, Florida Sportsman Fishing Report, our number 1 fisherman in the area. What's happening?
How we doing, Brent?
All right, we're doing fantastic. How's the water?
Good,
Cold?
good. Hey, I got a question.
I got an answer.
Is it just me, or is hockey the one sport that is really kind of hard to watch on TV, but it's a blast to be there?
It's the greatest differential. There's no doubt. It's like 2 different experiences. I agree with you.
Completely.
I think the only time that I think you do feel playoff hockey on the TV. Like, I think playoff hockey really is cool on TV, but I would agree with you. You go to a regular season game or even a playoff game, and you're watching hockey. That's why the Icemen do really well, and they should, because going down to a hockey game is really a fun experience. You watch it on TV, it's totally different. Not say it's not fun, it's just totally different.
I had an aunt in Charleston that way up into her late 70s before she passed, never missed a Stingray game. I mean, that was just the highlight of her life. And I got to tell you, I've been to some Lizard King games here before that were just as much fun as you could ever have. I haven't seen the Iceman yet, but let's talk fishing. It kind of flip-flopped today. It was a whole lot better offshore than it was for the inshore guys. Now, it wasn't easy offshore. The Jody Lynn 2 was able to make it at the edge of the Gulf Stream, but get a load of this catch. They had 16 tunas. They had a big gaffer mahi. They had a sailfish and a couple of wahoo and quite a few kingfish. So an outstanding day for those boys. But it took a 57-foot boat to be able to manage the seas today. I didn't hear of very many others out. Closer to shore, the original Jody Lynn did have a pretty good round of triggerfish, had a mutton snapper and a couple of gag groupers. So they had a fair day in a little bit closer too, but they said it was pretty rough on the 43-footer. So I'm assuming most of the smaller boats stayed home. Inshore, it was a grind. David Voorhees said it was windy, said it was tough to get the redfish to bite. The water had cooled a little. They didn't want to move around much. I think that swarming trend that's coming up over the next few days is really going to help us inshore, but I'm afraid we're going to keep that easterly flow that's going to make it very hard for the offshore guys to get there. But you can count on one thing. We'll be back tomorrow with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing and CSS Landscaping.
Thanks, Captain Rick. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Hopefully that weather warms up. Feels more like ice fishing lately here in Jacksonville. You ever been ice fishing?
Of course, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we still have like bonfires in the ice.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me that.
Yeah.
It seems like it would melt the ice.
And now when it's like 10 inches thick, you're all good to go.
I told you this once. One of my favorite stories I did was ice fishing story.
Really?
Up in Albany. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Did you have like, the whole shanty set up and everything?
They did, yeah.
Were you using like the jigs or were you using tip-ups?
Stop talking to me like that.
Tip-up? Come on. You know what a tip-up is. And the jig's like a little pole, and the tip-up's like with the flag.
No, the jigs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's ice fishing 101.
It was a while ago.
Okay. I got you.
I used to know more about hockey.
You ever been sturgeon fishing with the spears?
No.
Oh, dude. Prehistoric stuff right there.
Throw spears.
You just gotta you cut out like a big square like in the ice, and you just wait till a sturgeon drop by. You throw a spear at it. They're huge. They're like huge prehistoric animals. You can't eat them. They're just like trophy. They're not even trophy fish. They're ugly creatures.
That's awesome.
Check them out, though.
You've done it?
I mean, I've been a part of it. I haven't caught one myself. It's super rare.
It'd be really
super
hard.
rare. Yeah.
All right. Let's go. We'll go up to Green Bay.
Let's do it, man.
Go to
Let's
the Pickle. We'll go ice fishing. We'll go in the summer instead. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Still cool, but not as cold tonight. Into partly cloudy skies will drop to around 50 degrees. It'll be partly sunny and milder tomorrow, all the way up to 70 to 75 in the afternoon. From the CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm always on the go. Whether it's co-hosting 2 radio shows, working out, or being a professional MMA fighter, living an active lifestyle means that I need to do the things necessary in order to perform at my best. And one of the most important things you can do is keep your body hydrated. And this is where Body Armor comes in. When you talk about Body Armor Light, you're talking about a low-calorie sports drink to hydrate your active lifestyle. It's made with no artificial sweeteners and no sugar added, and plus it's got potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, vitamins, and coconut water. Think about it like this. Your body is a vehicle, and you're only going to perform as well as the fuel that you put inside it. You can choose to drink just regular water or maybe some sugary sports drink, or you can optimize your body, optimize your performance, and take care of your rest and recovery with Body Armor and Body Armor Light. If it's good enough for NBA players, NFL players, race car drivers, professional fighters, soccer stars, then it's going to be good enough for you. Drink something more than a sports drink. Drink Body Armor.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
If you're involved in a legal dispute, call me, Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Men suffering from ED or PE? Has Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center is featuring Restore Wave, the latest and non-invasive ED treatment. You'll see results on your first visit or pay nothing. Call 904-618-3497. That's 904-618-3497. The
Players is proud to support Northeast Florida Healthy Start Coalition, which leads a cooperative community effort to address infant mortality and strengthen families. It's 21 days until the Players.
2022 Acura deals have been unleashed with 2.9% APR at your First Coast Acura dealers. Upgrade to the award-winning 2022 RDX crossover SUV and save when you shop deals at firstcoastacuradealers.com. Offer excludes Type S edition.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, 24/7 support, free access to product specialists, and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has always known. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Voted Best Gift of the Year for golfers by the ESPN 690 Golf Enthusiast Review Board. Want to make the golfer in your life love you even more? Order the 2022 ESPN Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses are raising their rates with the recent boom. The Dream 18 card has even more value now. For less than dinner for two at your favorite upscale restaurant, you will receive tremendously discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker's Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Play 2 rounds of golf, and the card pays for itself. $69, that's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Shacks, Dream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to Action Sports Shacks, Dream18.com.
You're watching the game, and that pizza comes back to haunt you with heartburn. You've got it under control with a few antacids until bedtime, and the heartburn comes back. Does this happen to you? Instead of fighting your heartburn, block it with Prilosec OTC so you don't have to suffer through every game, day and night. Taking one Prilosec OTC pill in the morning can prevent excess acid production and block your heartburn all day and all night. Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Action Sports Shacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Shacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
I want to make sure everyone is clear on what we're talking about. They're going to cut 900 minor league baseball players. They're going to cut 900 jobs from that workforce. They are drug testing the ones they're keeping on, even though there are no games and they're not being paid. Can you imagine if someone says to you, "You're working for me now"? The only evidence of that is me saying it, because you're not getting paid and I don't have anything for you to do. But you're going to have to submit to drug testing anyway.
That is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Major League Baseball doing.
Are they? Where are they at with
They're not at spring
cannabis?
training. Pitchers and catchers
for sure.
reporting.
No, I got you. But you know how the NFL kind of was lenient now towards cannabis.
Yeah.
And that is the MLB. I assume not like that.
Casey, do you know?
If you're on the 40-man roster, you don't get tested for it.
Oh, so they're pretty lenient.
Okay, there you go.
That's why Tim Beckham got added to the Rays 40-man roster way before he should have. I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious.
Okay. Well, do what you got to do, right?
By
the way, pretty cool moment last night at the Bowl School. DJ Stewart had his number retired. He plays for the Baltimore Orioles now. Former Florida State guy. Played football and baseball at Bowls. Won 5 state championships, by the way.
Wow.
Between the two. When he was there, 3 of them, I think, in football, 2 in baseball. So, congrats, DJ Stewart, really cool guy. We've had him on the show before in the past, and a nice honor last night at the Bowl School as DJ Stewart has his number retired. Did you see what was floating around today? Did you see the goalposts for sale?
Well, yeah, but was that true
It
or not?
wasn't.
Okay, good.
So I want to make sure I make that clear.
Okay.
But for a moment, it was kind of fun.
It was funny. Well, yeah.
Like one of those, it was like bid $500 or something.
Sure, yeah.
Like, wouldn't you almost want to buy it?
What do you do with the goalposts?
I have no idea, but wouldn't you want to buy it? So what would you do with it?
Man, I would make it into like a chair or something. I don't know what you would do with that. Could you make it into like a bed frame? Like cut it up? I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea. You might be able to.
Yeah. I mean, so like to set the scene, my stepdad.
Score!
So like at our ski hill, they were selling like the old chairlifts. You know?
Yeah.
My stepdad brought one and fixed it into his house. So now it comes from the ceiling and it's like a seat you can watch TV in.
From the ceiling.
From the ceiling. Yeah. So you sit down. And
That's
it's like
awesome.
You're in a chairlift. Yeah.
That's
so I mean,
great idea.
You can make something happen with it.
I was kind of so then I love that. Like I never thought of making it. I was like, when I put it in my backyard, and then the HOA would really get on me. I would do it just to piss them off.
They're going to ask you to
once,
leave,
though.
I think,
I'd pay
that
it.
point.
I don't care. I'd pay the fine. I mean,
you.
if I was paying $500 or more on a goalpost anyway, I probably
you're probably pretty good.
But that's interesting to make it into a bed frame or some kind of furniture or something like that. And
yeah.
I like it. Or at least you could take the pole part and make it a flag pole, but then you use the other parts for the bed frame or table or whatever.
Table would be cool.
That would be kind of neat.
Table would be
and but I like what you're saying about the chairlifting. So it's got me thinking now. It's like, what else? Like, what piece of equipment would you get? Could you use like a hockey net for anything?
Yeah. Oh man,
Like there's something now you start home decorating here.
I like this
sports style.
I like this a lot. Hockey net. I mean, I feel like you could like hang like something for the ladies out there. You could like make it into like some kind of like hanging basket thing. You know, like have like the net, then hang it with like a bucket in it, and then you have like flowers and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hockey moms. Hey, shout out to my mom for being one of the diehard hockey moms out there. She had to carry my stuff when I was a little kid, so hockey moms could use that.
I've seen this before, which I thought was really cool. I can't remember where it was. You know how like the railings going up a staircase, and you got the whatever they are, the poles of the railings.
Sure.
I mean, they were really the railings, but
I got you.
Well, they made like baseball bats in those.
Oh, cool.
That'd be pretty neat.
I saw that they make like out of baseball bats. They make like glasses, like cups. You can drink like beer out of them and stuff.
Oh, out of the
like,
wood. Yes,
they hollow out baseball bats. That's cool. I mean, what do the Jaguars got to offer? You know,
I don't know. Helmet, make it into a lamp
or something like that. I got a couple of those.
Yeah, we already had those when I was a kid. I remember that.
I would take Shad Khan's yacht and just airlift it to like just a plot of land, and then I would just have like an on-land yacht I would live in.
What the other part of this story is, like, we really didn't know if it was true or not. We had to ask the Jags.
Oh, did you really?
Like, yeah.
I figured it wasn't true.
Well, I didn't know if it was true, but then I was like, well, like Stuart and I were talking about it.
Yeah.
I said, well, Stuart, they would give it to like a local field. Like a high school. But the high school goalposts are not the same as like the NFL goalposts.
Are the Jaguars that strapped for cash where they're on Facebook Marketplace selling goalposts
I know, that's
now
what
and
was
stuff?
Weird,
like,
right?
come on.
Really, what I thought the weirdest part was only for $500.
Well, you know, I said that now. My jersey was selling for like $75. Like my game used jersey was selling for like $50 at the game. I would have paid $100 for him if he would have gotten in contact with me. Literally, some dude's like, "Hey, can you autograph this jersey?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's a game one. Where'd you get that?" Yeah, they're selling for $50 at the game. $50. Excuse me? I mean, I feel like the fabric alone is worth more than that, regardless of who played in it.
I love it. If you would have just told me, I would have had my mom buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the dry fit material with inflation costs a lot more just to make something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. Hey, we didn't do this story yesterday, and I don't even know where it's at today. Casey maybe can fill us in. Did you see the Russian
this is a
figure
mess.
skater?
Yeah.
And first of all, she's 15.
Yeah.
And she failed the test, right? A doping test?
Correct.
Yeah.
And so somewhere along the way, they're not going to know the results fully of the test or the retest or the whatever test, and so they're letting her skate.
Yes.
But the IOC then says, fine, she's going to skate. If she makes the medal stand, there's no medal ceremony.
Yeah. Casey, you want to set it up, and I'll try to knock it down?
I mean, that's pretty much it. They said
but it's two different governing bodies, right?
Yeah.
Like the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, didn't do like the doping. They didn't make the doping decision in allowing her to skate. Correct. And the medal. So I think they disagree with the decision that was made. And that's why they're saying, well, we won't do a medal ceremony then.
Yeah, so basically what's going on is this girl who's 15 years old, who's the best skater in the world, got popped for, I think it was a heart medication to give to older people. Now, she's 15 years old, so she's not an adult. So that means whether it was a coach or a family member, had her take this, which is not a good look, and especially the country that we're talking about in Russia, who, have been in trouble in the past, and there's a reason why it's the ROC as opposed to the I almost said university, the country of Russia getting represented instead of the ROC. So there's an issue there. I guess the thought is that Russia is so dominant in women's figure skating, they thought it was going to be a clean sweep. But, upsets happen all the time. So, my issue with the whole thing is, okay, I hear the argument. She's 15 years old. Maybe it wasn't her fault. Maybe she unknowingly took that, whatever the case may be. Okay, I get that point. But then you're going to ruin somebody else's Olympic moment of standing on a podium and receiving their medal because she and her camp messed up?
Yeah, or the country.
Or the country messed up? I'm not blaming a 15-year-old per se, but I'm blaming the people around her.
Absolutely.
And that all falls in the same category, so I don't think it's right.
And not only that, but I mean, I think because of the history of Russia with these problems at the Olympics, I think that doesn't help them in this case. To your point about the medal stand stuff, there already is angst there with the International Olympic Committee. But what's crazy about it to me is stop the car at 15-year-old figure skater doping.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Doping and figure skating?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And sometimes they don't know what they're taking. And,
True.
But
like,
either way, like.
Well, and you got the sense that this wasn't her choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody more than likely told her to take that.
Yeah.
Which, and in that case, then, like, yeah, it's not fair to her. But, there's a lot of athletes, former and present in the Olympics, coming out and saying she should be able to compete.
I'll tell you this now. I remember this with the swimmers from Ryan Murphy especially. Remember, he was pretty outspoken about the Summer Olympics and some of the doping concerns that they had. And it was more insinuation in terms of possible, not just Ryan, by the way, others too. And so it's a real thing. And the other athletes do feel cheated by it.
Yeah.
And so any sign of it, they've tried to clean it up so much. There's always a new way around something. And so I think there's zero tolerance amongst the athletes and the competitors. And even though she might be the best figure skater in the world, even though it might not help her at all win a gold medal or a medal, I think there's still – it's just so frowned upon now by the other athletes, I believe, that are keeping it clean.
And we have to ask ourselves, how much of a contradiction is it with the Olympic Committee when you have a girl like Sha'Carri Richardson last year
very true.
Who got popped for, marijuana and then, couldn't go to the Olympics because of that, which, I mean – it's okay. I get it. It's a street drug. Call it what you want if that's how you feel about it. But is it performance enhancing? I don't think so. But the one that the Olympic skater was taking could be arguably a performance enhancer. So, yeah, man, it's not a good look by any means, and especially being a 15-year-old kid and you're going through this.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with it all, how it shakes out. If you're watching the Olympics, doesn't seem like many people are.
Oh, ouch. I'm watching it.
You are.
I'm having fun.
How do you like the mono
cap
bob?
Oh, the mono bobsledding?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's stress. Well, because the bobsled, it's a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So they're all over the place.
They are all over.
Yeah. I mean, first
they're
of all,
like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, but they're a skeleton, by the way, too. Skeleton's out of control.
Skeleton is. But
Skeleton.
that's not new. The mono bob.
Oh, no, for sure. But I'm saying Skeleton was a couple nights ago, and people were all over the place.
Yeah.
Come on. Head first.
Crazy.
What are we talking about here?
It's nuts.
I mean, like, I love adrenaline, and I'm into – Skeleton's not one of them. I'm all set there.
You get to pick one. Would you do the luge?
No, go ahead and give me the bobsled.
Oh,
give me something a little more solid.
Yeah, you'd be probably a pretty good bobsledder. Maybe a little
height,
heavy.
though, about the height.
Yeah, true. How are you going to duck?
Also, Jamaica's making an appearance in bobsled, I think, tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Cool runnings. Here we go.
Cool runnings. Here we go, man.
All right. We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Put a bow on a show from UNF Arena. They're about an hour or so away from tip-off. Liberty and the Ospreys tonight, 7 o'clock. Come on out and watch the Ospreys play. We'll be right back.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't SafeTouch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what SafeTouch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And SafeTouch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the SafeTouch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the SafeTouch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the two-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
Start your new year in a like-new car from the pre-owned experts at Arlington Toyota. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 300 used available. All makes, all models. Some even same model year. You've got to see it. And when it comes to buying with confidence, just leave it to my friends at Arlington. Their 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Add some major excitement to your new year and an amazing new ride from Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. In person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
My days are filled with meetings, so I rarely have time to answer my phone when it rings. I used to miss out on so many new clients just because I couldn't answer their calls. Now, I never miss a call, and my business is booming. All thanks to Smith AI, my virtual receptionist service. The award-winning receptionists at Smith AI answer my calls and schedule appointments. They even make outbound sales calls for me. They're the friendly face of my business while I focus on my work. Visit smith.ai to read 5-star reviews and use code ANSWER for $100 off.
Beard's Diamond's most exciting offer is back for a limited time.
0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get zero down.
It's the sale smart jewelry shoppers wait for.
You get Beard's already low prices, but then you get to spread your payments out for 60 months with no money down. But hurry, this incredible finance opportunity won't last long.
How about a $6,000 Decory or Veragio ring?
You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of $3,000 stud earrings.
You pay just $50 a month.
And every purchase at Beard's Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime guarantee.
Now's the time to get her that designer setting she's been dreaming about.
And spread your payments out for 5 years. Simply divide your total price by 60, and that's all you'll pay per month.
Don't miss out on the best deal of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get zero down on everything in the store.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Get the lowest prices on diamonds in Jacksonville, guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, team, it's a full house. We got to pick up the pace.
At Hank's Restaurant, the line goes around the block.
Is this for 12? Okay, I need the truffle oil drizzle.
What he needs is another line cook.
Oh, man. Are the quail breasts still in the sous vide? Dave, can you keep an eye on that, please?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. Right now, you can do the complete job and get a great deal when you buy a set of Duralast brake pads and rotors. It's also AutoZone's national hiring event. We're hiring all positions, from sales to warehouse and drivers, both part-time and full-time. Visit careers.autozone.com or any one of our stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays, 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
It solidifies it, yes, because everybody talks about the quarterback position and constantly uses the does he have a Super Bowl as almost like the measuring stick. What do we talk about in relation to Aaron Rodgers? Blows our mind that he's only won 1 Super Bowl. Tom Brady's the GOAT because he's won 7. Eli Manning's in because he's won 2. And I've talked about this, Chris. So Stafford, listen, you can't get in just because it's Super Bowl. You got to get in because your
statistical performance is up there with some of the all-time greats. He sits right now 12th in career touchdowns and career yards. Every person ahead of them is going to be or is in the Hall of Fame.
I think that's our buddy Jason Fitz.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Good.
I thought it was Fitz too.
So some would say your buddy.
Oh, great! Here we go again.
My buddy or Austin's?
He ain't my buddy.
Yeah, you, Brent.
Yeah, your buddy.
Tannenbaum?
Yep, there it is.
Nope, also no.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought it was.
This is
Open
brutal.
two.
It's Dan Orlovsky.
Who's your?
Oh,
Dan Orlovsky.
Oh, yeah, I do like Orlovsky. Give him a key to the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, him and Fitz sound a lot alike.
They do.
We just got to stop playing sound because that was brutal.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the sound wasn't the most clear either.
Yeah, it was a little like he was calling from Steven's phone.
Hey, not blaming you, Casey. Just saying how we heard it.
Okay. No, you're kind of blaming me a little bit.
Like,
I didn't say you're responsible for
he
the
went to work
sound
with
quality.
Steven today.
He's riding Steven's in the back of the truck.
Through whatever tunnel.
Yep.
I don't even know how many tunnels we have around here, but Steven's always calling for one.
I think we're below sea level, so probably not a lot of tunnels, Brent.
Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz, UNF Arena. Get about an hour away from tip-off here. Ospreys play against Liberty coming up tonight in ASUN play. All right, let's end the show on this topic. Another one that Casey brought up.
Fired it.
This is interesting. Ben Simmons has decided he's okay to play. Did you see the joke about that?
I did.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was actually more Harden that joked about the All-Star pick when LeBron and KD were doing that.
No, but
Barkley.
there is a joker with Ben Simmons going around right now, too, though.
But Ben Simmons basically claimed like he had some mental health issues. That was part of the reason why he was out and skipping everybody. I'm not sure how many people believed him.
Yeah.
But I think Casey's question is, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Does that hurt people that are trying to come forward and share their stories about mental health if this was a bit of a fabricated one by Ben Simmons? I'm not sure how we're supposed to find this out, but is it a dangerous way to go just for selfish reasons and easy excuses and to keep the heat off you a little bit for Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
And does that then lessen when other people try to actually bring it to the forefront for good reasons?
I mean, it's a great question. You can go either way here. I guess I'll say it like this. You know, I'm not sure the diagnosis of Ben Simmons of what he was going through. You know, was it just the fact that he wanted out of Philadelphia because he didn't like the team and that's all it was, or was there some mental health issues? We may never know, but I'm going to err on the side of he did have issues. No, I have no idea if he did or not. But I would rather err on the side of he did have issues and hear his pleas as opposed to saying, well, you're ruining the cause. You're not helping yourself out because now other people in need are really, out there trying to speak their piece and you're ruining it for them. I'm not taking anything from Ben Simmons. I have no idea. But I'm not going to be the guy that's going to say, he's faking or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm going to take him at his word.
It's a tough thing to do, right?
Yeah.
And say someone's faking. It's different when you can say Jalen Ramsey, did he really have a back injury?
Exactly.
But it's other thing if Ben Simmons has battled some things at one time or another, in this sensitive issue especially. So I kind of agree with you. And by the way, to answer Casey's questions, I'm not sure like one guy doing this. Now, if this becomes we see multiple athletes do this and utilize it. I understand the point. I'm just not sure it will diminish. I think people like Simone Biles bring it to the forefront and others that have done that and shared their story and been very honest and transparent about it. I think that still wins the day in spreading the word, helping people out, being a role model in that sense. And I'm not sure Ben Simmons, at least in my opinion, diminishes that. Whether he does have mental issues or not, health issues or not. So the big question is from an on-court standpoint, is what kind of impact is he going to be able to make? And how do those two teams look with the flip-flop of players and then some? Speaking of how teams will look, tonight we got Liberty, UNF, right out here at the arena. Thanks for hanging with us for the last few hours. This game will be 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN+. I'll see you tonight on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Matthew Driscoll coming off win number 200 on Saturday, looking for 201 tonight in upset fashion against Liberty.
I don't see Malik Willis, Brent. I do not see him here, unfortunately.
Here.
Dang it. All right.
That's probably good for UNF.
That's it. I guess, yeah, whatever.
We will be back in studio tomorrow. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Have a good night, everybody.
Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good. It's more than food. It's about the flavor, the tradition. It's barbecue, and it's who we are at Bono's. Locally smoked since 1949. Almost 20 locations around Jacksonville. On the menu, Smokehouse